Hey guys, ciao ciao. Welcome to Calcio Charcha. So today we have me myself, Yogesh Singh, the Napoli fan, and Chintan, the AC Milan fan on Calcio Charcha. Hope you guys are doing good. पूरे देश में काफी ठंडी की लहर दौड़ रही है. So I hope you have you're wearing your sweaters as well and just stay safe, stay warm. Yeah, Chintan. So how are you?
Fine, यार. काफी ठंडी. I'm in Delhi right now. It's quite cold here. Yeah, we have a few Delhi subscribers also. पता बॉम्बे वाले के लिए तो यार I think योगेश हम लोग किधर भी जाए. For us Mumbai, cause it is going to be cold wherever we go. I think. So yeah, it's good. Yeah. कैसा रहा योगेश? How are you? How are you finally settled in with the Kavrat का क्या बोलते हैं ट्रांसफर?
Yeah, कवारा सागा थोड़ा सा इट वाज गुड. मंडे को हमने एक इमरजेंसी पॉडकास्ट किया ऑन द कवारा न्यूज, सो आई लेट ऑल माय फीलिंग्स आउट. सो थोड़ा दिल हल्का हो गया एंड काफी यूजर्स के सब्सक्राइबर्स के कमेंट्स भी हमने लिए उस दिन. तो इट वाज अ वेरी गुड सेशन एंड ऑल माय थॉट्स ऑन Kvaratskhelia are out now, so nothing more left.
And we have Param with his Pakistan jersey. Forever the Pakistan cricket का fan. क्या बोल रहा है परम? कैसा चल रहा है? Disappointing match day for Inter.
Yeah, वो तो बाकी सब तो ठीक है. I mean, hectic week at work, and I mean, I guess when you work in sports, there is never an easy week. You're always running around. But apart from that, all good. I think Inter का obviously I was watching the game yesterday. Not the result obviously you'd want because वो game हमें कल जीतना चाहिए था. Silly mistakes, and I think not so good in-game management by Simone Inzaghi. I did not like how he managed that second half. आई थिंक yesterday was even more confirmation कि जब हम ट्रांसफर्स की बात कर रहे हैं स्ट्रीम उसके बारे में, समर का एक ट्रांसफर डेफिनेटली होने वाले. क्रिस्टियन असलानी गेटिंग किक्ड आउट ऑफ द क्लब बिकॉज ही वाज टेरेबल अगेन येट अगेन. मतलब आई जस्ट डोंट अंडरस्टैंड हाउ ही ट्राइज टू be a flashy player on the ball when he's not a Hakan Çalhanoğlu, and he can't even do the basics of the defending side of it as a number 6. So बहुत डिसअपॉइंटिंग था बिकॉज उसके तो बहुत एरर्स थे ही, और ऊपर से कल थोड़ा मतलब इट वाज नॉट द ग्रेटेस्ट ऑफ परफॉर्मेंसेस. एंड इट्स नॉट जस्ट दैट. आई थिंक यू कैन सी अगर आप वीक इन वीक आउट खेलते हो तो शेड्यूल कैचेस अप टू यू. सो आई थिंक दैट वाज वन ऑफ दोस गेम्स. बट ठीक है, एटलीस्ट वी डिडंट लूज. आई कैन से दैट्स ऑल. आई मीन ठीक है. एक गेम
I think हम लोग योगेश चालू किया है. I think we started. हम लोग करने ही वाले थे. We have Ravi with us. आज
yeah, we'll see the comments. आज कौन फंस गया ट्रैफिक में? आज कोई फंसा नहीं है. आई थिंक डीजे भाई विल जॉइन अस टुडे, बट उनको लेट हो जाएगा. या कॉस्टो आल्सो विल बी जॉइनिंग ऐसा लग रहा है. अजय भाई इज आउट ऑन अ हॉलिडे, सो आई डोंट थिंक ही विल बी जॉइनिंग. गर्नाचो के रूमर्स है. सो अगेन हम लोग एक कलेक्टिव में अलग अलग रूमर्स ये करेंगे. आई विल पुल इट अप ऑन ट्विटर एज वेल. Inter and Arsenal fans says hi. Chintan bhai is true. Milan are interested in Walker. Yes, we'll discuss all that. Ekdam se nahi. We'll discuss all this. We'll save it all that as a topic. Deep also says hi. Again, firstly, yaar, before we get started, like, share and subscribe. ये तो मतलब we are only 10 subscribers away from 1.3k. So get us there, yaar. Come on. मतलब not that far off from our next goal. और कंटेंट तो आता रहेगा. अगेन ऑल ऑफ अस आर बिजी. एज यू कैन सी चिंतन भाई क्लियरली इज नॉट एट होम. योगेश तो कहीं और ही बैठा है, मतलब अपने अजीब बैकग्राउंड के साथ. और मैं तो लेट आया घर से, इसलिए मुझे 5 मिनट लेट हो गया. Forza Bologna, but again, even Bologna would beat Arsenal in the Champions League. Man, even you know this. Come on, imagine if Italiano faced you. He's a cup specialist. Again, funny thing is, we drew to Bologna and we beat you. So again, you're just trolling yourself indirectly, Ravi. So I don't know what you're on about. But all that aside, let's.
पर हम चालू किया भी तेरे से ही चालू कर दिया है. I हम लोग ने जस्ट टिप ऑफ द आइसबर्ग थोड़ा फ्रस्ट्रेशन सुना. I'll be very honest, I just saw the first half.
Yeah.
First half was actually quite decent, and to get up and see the result was a little surprising, to be very honest. But finally, like as DJP group में बोला था, finally I think as you said, fixtures catching up. सबसे बड़ा प्रॉब्लम जो सेरिया की टीम्स में है, great starting 11 of course and a very mediocre bench. Probably the best bench है इंटर का, and we can see that, and as you said, of course not up to the standards.
Yeah.
So यार very weird goals to concede. I think दोनों deflection जैसे थे. मतलब it's both the goals were difficult goals to.
Yeah, the second one also, DiMarco matlab did not defend well, not just on him, but again he lost sight of the whole situation. and all over the place था. मतलब वो थोड़ा exhaustion की वजह से होता ही. This is where you question a lot of things, not just the. अब डेप्थ की तो बात कर सकते हो, असलानी जैसे प्लेयर्स, फ्रतेजी जैसे प्लेयर्स जिसका हेड इज नॉट इन द गेम एट ऑल. मतलब आई एम लाइक, अगर रिप्लेसमेंट मिल रहा है अच्छा ढंग का जनवरी में, तो इसको जनवरी में ही निकाल दो. आई एम ऑल फॉर इट. लाइक his head is clearly not in the game. He does not want to be here. So be it. I've always said this. I don't want players that are so unhappy ever at my club. They are all free to leave if they don't want to stay. And Frattesi ऐसा player नहीं जिसको आप replace कर नहीं सकते. At the end of the day, this is a player that can't pass the ball, can't cross the ball. Technically, is below average. Does offer good energy. Can score goals. He's very good at that. But other than that, he's not that good. Not that great of a player. But I'm not saying कि उसके वजह से हारे. But the point is, you expect certain players who have won the Scudetto to come off the bench and actually put in half a decent performance, right?
Yeah, that is.
And Christian Aslani, Frattesi, Buchanan. Now Buchanan is a weird one because उसका वो तो broken shin से वापस आ रहा है, so he's not had a time to adapt and he looks like a shadow of a player. So technically right now we are in a very weird situation कि सब bench players के problems अचानक से एक साथ आ गए because of the injuries. Like Mkhitaryan got injured. He's luckily recovered because he's one of the fittest players in the league, so he's already back. Zielinski भी थोड़ा अजीब खेल रहा है. Like I don't know what he's doing on the pitch because नापोली में उसको जब भी स्पेस मिलती थी शूट करने को वो शूट कर लेता है. इधर जब उसको स्पेस मिलती है वो उल्टा 360 डिग्री कुछ भी घूम करके पास कर देता है. Like I don't understand his decision making so far. So the bench players have to step up. Yesterday Taremi also, as much as I've defended him, he missed a tap in, open goal tap in. Like I don't know how so that could have won us the game. So ऐसी चीजें like certain I think at times you know Chintan may have these moments in the season when things just don't click. क्योंकि at the end of the day last season अगर यही bench आप खिलाओगे तो एक अलग energy थी उसके बारे में. They used to do anything. Frattesi used to come on, score late goals. Aslani जब भी आता था ठीक performance निकाल के चला जाता था. So it happens. All these things happen at times, but it has given us a lot of क्या बोलते हैं थिंग्स टू थिंक ऑफ बेसिकली कि किसको निकालना है किसको नहीं निकालना है. फ्रतेजी इफ नॉट जनवरी समर हैज टू लीव. असलानी हैज टू लीव इन द समर. मैं अभी जस्ट 1 घंटे पहले न्यूज देखा कि इंटर हैव स्टार्टेड टॉक्स विद ब्यूकैनन की तुझे लोन उसको लोन पे बाहर किया सो दैट ही कैन गेट टाइम एंड ही कैन ही कैन. किसका वजह है भाई?
मेरा वजह से.
अच्छा नो वरीज. हाँ
मेरे को भी पता नहीं चला.
नहीं हाँ. So no, I was just saying कि basically I just saw the news an hour ago that Inter have started talks with Tejon Buchanan की शायद वो लोन पे जाके कहीं खेल सके. So it's suddenly all of a weird situation where certain like 2-3 players, bench players altogether are not good enough and we are trying to ship them off as early as January, which is very weird because you also have to maintain the depth of the squad. So मुझे समझ में नहीं आ रहा exactly the strategy क्या है. We are suddenly now more focused on signing under 23 players. So थोड़ा अजीब है. But leaving all that aside, the game yesterday, जैसे मैंने बोला, first half आपने बोला, it was very good. Lautaro Martinez looked like Lautaro Martinez of last season yesterday. Yeah, he was.
In the derby, he looked very sharp.
Yeah, he was very, very dangerous yesterday. But then I saw the second half and I was like, what the hell did these bench players do? And what was Simone Inzaghi thinking in terms of managing the game? Like, so because we should have really won. Again, at the end of the day, वो game हाथ का था और गवा दिया. And you have to give credit to Bologna because आप देखते हो Bologna under Italiano थोड़ा improve तो हुआ है for what it's worth. And they are obviously competing for a European spot. So you have to give them credit as much as we kind of messed it up. But again, I'm not too upset over it because we still have a game in hand. And अगर वो जीतते तो obviously that is the one against Fiorentina. वो tough है, but then we are on par with Napoli. So there is a long way to go. ऐसा कुछ clear नहीं है. I'm not too upset.
Param, buying under 23 players will show fruitfulness because Milan are already showing it because you can see the fitness levels. We have another winger also who already came on, Bob Murphy, one of the games. You can see Jimenez level.
Yeah, I saw.
So, you know,
and
that's half a season, Param. Half a season में ये सब improvement हुआ है. And of course, you can see Juventus churning out players. So yeah, but you are right. एक gap हो गया है.
Chidave, sorry to cut you off. This is big. Like we will because we have to touch this. Yogesh, sorry. ये news देखो भाई. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. This because I didn't think this news would be legit until Di Marzio has just broken it. Is this visible? Oh my god. 12 minute Yeah. So damn. So 60-65 million का bid prepare कर रही है Man City for Andrea Cambiaso. Or actually, let's
Very
start with this. Let's close the intersection and start with this, Chindan, because this is fresh news. So might as well start with this. So just want to say from Inter end कि basically जैसे आपने बोला अंडर 23 प्लेयर से प्रॉब्लम नहीं है मुझे, बिकॉज वी आर अबाउट टू स्टार्ट आवर अंडर 23 टीम इन द समर, राइट, जस्ट लाइक यू गाइस डिड लास्ट सीजन.
yeah.
बट माय पॉइंट इज भाई आपको थोड़ा डेप्थ, मतलब जो एक्सपीरियंस हम कलेक्ट कर रहे हो कलेक्ट करते रहना पड़ेगा, नहीं तो अदरवाइज इट्स अ प्रॉब्लम. यू कैन नॉट हैव एन असलानी रिपीट. What Alfredo
Yes.
Pedula reported yesterday, Chintanbhai, which might make you a bit upset, is that let's say hypothetically if Inter were to Yogesh cash in on Frattesi this Jan, then with that money we will all go all out for Samuel Ricci in January itself. Now whether or not that happens, if it goes through, is a different story, but that's a January situation, not necessarily for the summer. Just to see it out there. But overall, not happy with the game at all. Chindanma, I know you guys had a good week. The comeback against Como, so you guys are like the real winners of the week. Napoli का obviously वो तो बचा है, but Atalanta and Juve also drew. So Napoli, yeah, I mean Napoli will stay top, but you guys are probably the real winners because थोड़ा catch up play कर सकते हो अभी आप धीरे धीरे. But we'll, I think we should. हाँ बोल.
But problem वही था, वो जीत तो गए eventually, but again it's
हाँ.
like putting paper over the crack marks, ऐसा होता
या
है.
लुक एकदम से तो फिक्स होने नहीं वाला है कुछ बीच, वो तो अपनी को पता है मिलन के अलग इश्यूज है, बट वील कम टू द गेम्स लेटर. वील इवन probably for the rest of the audience touch upon Inter Bologna again briefly and the other games. Let's start with the transfer rumors because ये तो fresh आ रहा है and I want to get this out of the way because this is big news. क्योंकि हम सबको पैनल पे योगेश आंद्रिया काम्बियासो एक हद तक पसंद है, राइट, लाइक अच्छा प्लेयर है, वर्सेटाइल है.
Yeah.
And he has played almost everywhere for you, right wing back, left wing back, even as a right winger at times. And look, this is the news coming because हम जानते हैं मैनचेस्टर सिटी ये विंडो में पागल हो गया. They've been spending to bolster their team. They signed one of Asia's brightest talents, Kusanov, जिसको मैं हाइप करते करते गया ताकि वो इंटर के लिए आ जाए और चला गया साला मैन सिटी, बट दैट्स अनदर स्टोरी. कैम्बियासो अभी आ रहा है और तू मुझे बता योगेश, तुझे क्या लगता है, because UA fans love him obviously, and we'll get to the comments. But for given UA's financial condition, right,
Mm-hmm.
should they accept this? Because this is good money technically in the condition they are. Because तू जानता है इनको because of their injuries they had to sign players, और अभी basically और players को लाने के लिए they need to sell. They are in that situation. क्या बोलता है तू इसके बारे में?
Yeah, definitely. Like it looks like they're getting a very good deal. Like 60-65 million euros for Andrea Cambiaso is not bad, and they will definitely lose out on a very good player. But I think so with this kind of money, they'll be able to find a good replacement in meantime as well. So, and I always like that Manchester City or like any Premier League clubs come and buy in Serie and give their funds to Serie के गरीब clubs को. That is good.
ये क्या बोल रहा है भाई तू? बट चिंदर भाई आपके क्या थॉट्स है? क्योंकि दो तरीके से इसको देख सकते हो. ऑब्वियसली UA will lose an important player because Cambiaso at the end of the day has been good for UA generally speaking, right? We'll get to the comments. I saw a few comments on Cambiaso में उस पे आता, but चिंदर भाई आपके क्या थॉट्स है? Because 60-65 million is hard to turn down given their condition, financially speaking and everything. And if in January they can sign 2-3 players with that money to fill the gaps, to fill the injury gaps, nothing like it. क्या बोलते हो? Which side are you on?
No, yaar, it's very difficult. Yeah, he's such an important player, especially for Mota's system. I don't know. It's a very tough call. And again, as Yogesh said, how difficult it is to reject a bid for a not, you can't say a settled player, an upcoming player, a 60-65 million जो अभी spend कर रही है. City General, this is the fourth signing I think they're going to be doing this season, all young kids. But I think this is a tough one for even for Serie, even for Juventus as a whole. This is a tough player to lose because a player who can literally fix your defensive woes. Again, have they somewhere sealed another deal in regards to that? But again, to get a player like Cambiaso who can play every single position which he requires, and knowing their injury record, they could have waited till summer, I think. But I guess even Juventus wants a player immediately. I know one thing, Spalletti's the happiest to see this, that another Italian is going to go abroad to play. But again, I don't think, is he fully grown up? Is he full confident? Like, is he going to
Yeah,
get
yeah.
over there for City? I don't think so. Again, Kyle Walker leaving might be a big issue with that, because he said it openly, he wants to leave. So there, everything is linked over here. But such a big move. And again, jo bhi tu bole Param, Juventus financial conditions, but they are still one of the only clubs in Italy who can spend money
Yeah,
regardless.
because obviously of the backing they have, वो तो है, मतलब the ownership being local, of course.
Yeah, again,
LK.
and they have Illing Junior. They have sold good players for a good amount. Pehle bhi. Historically, they do sell players for 20, 30 million. So was it that necessary to sell right now? And especially when they're chasing. Now, how upset Mota is going to be with this? When they're chasing a top four after such a... their results are also not very convincing, Param. So
Yeah, वो तो फिर से मतलब draw हो गया, वो तो हम जानते हैं.
like
But
we are talking about Kavrat, like Kavicha going, and how it can derail a club's ambition, Param. It can derail a club what they're doing. I won't be like, this is Param talking about like, you selling off like a DeMarco. I'm not saying it's the same
yeah,
level
yeah,
player, because you won't
I understand.
be selling off even a Pavard right now. Had been Pavard fit, Param to Pavard ko India will not sell Pavard off. I don't know what is
Yeah,
going
yeah,
on.
I understand. See, in terms of importance जो आप बोल रहे हो, obviously
हाँ,
you're right, because जैसे आपने बोला एक double edged sword है ना, योगेश, जैसे चिंतन में बोल रहे, because you see this figure over here. This, if they plan their targets quickly and if they have the list, they can get at least 2 players. 3 मुश्किल है शायद. जनवरी में देखो, honestly, जैसे चिंतन में बोला, प्लेयर मिलना भी आसान नहीं होता. लगता है सबको
that's
आसान है.
my point
Sorry.
is this: January, mein, unless a player now, imagine if they replace this with, like, they just do a stopgap arrangement, get Kyle Walker again, not a
Yeah,
solution. So unless they have
yeah.
identified, like, okay, like Tomori के साथ बात कर दी है, Entourage के साथ बात हो गई है, but I still don't see the eventual output. पर कोई भी नया player इतना output दे पाएगा unless they buy a big name player. Now imagine they end
I
up buying
agree.
a single player with this money, that would not be sufficient. Very surprising and very quick, yaar. Param, kitna jaldi ho gaya. You're thinking about Vlahovic leaving, and all of a sudden, two big moves from Serie. Like, this is like, if will Milan sell a Pulisic right now? I don't think so.
Yeah,
Even
yeah.
for a million bid.
Exactly, and that's the funny thing कि मैं तो, like, we are not even just talking about Manchester City simply, Yogesh, making a bid. This is them closing in on the signing. Yogesh, like, see this, what Di Maria says. Cambiaso is moving towards City. They've swooped immediately. 65 million is ready. Juventus will try to obtain a higher figure, and a 5-year deal with an option for a 6th year is already ready for the player and whatnot. So, bhai, matlab ekdam, I agree with Chintan. I personally, where I stand before I get to the comments, is I lean more towards, if I was UA, बेचना थोड़ा मुश्किल है ऐसे प्लेयर को. लाइक अगर अगर ऐसा सिचुएशन होता, राइट, अगर लेट्स से सिटी हैड नॉट साइन अब्दू कोदिर खुसनोव, अ प्लेयर आई हाइप अ लॉट ऑल द टाइम, एंड लेट्स से उसके पहले वो लोग कैम्बियासो खेला था, आई नो 2 डिफरेंट पोजीशंस एंड ऑल दैट, वो फटाफट में कैम्बियासो बेच के 60-65 मिलियन से मैं पहले खुसनोव को उठा लेता, बिकॉज आई नो ही इज ऑलरेडी फॉर सेल. नाउ द सिचुएशन इज, यू डोंट हैव, जैसे चिंतन मैंने बोला, लॉट ऑफ प्लेयर्स अवेलेबल फॉर, आई नो, ठीक है, देयर पुशिंग फॉर डेविड हैंचको, ऑब्वियसली वो एक हो जाएगा शायद,
वो समर से चालू है.
हाँ, बट चिंतन, फायरनोर्ड इज ऑलरेडी आस्किंग फॉर लाइक 30-35 मिलियन ओवर देयर, तो उसमें आधा ही बजट तेरा चला जाता है, राइट योगेश, एक प्लेयर पे. फिर तेरा आधा बजट टू losses cover, matlab, to maintain the balance sheet and all that. And as Chintan bhai said, even if they have a stable ownership, like in terms of being a local ownership, they're still in the red. They have a lot of losses to cover for because of what happened during the pandemic. So I don't know if it's a wise decision to do this, unless Juntoli ने, जैसे चिंतन मैंने बोला, कुछ ऑलरेडी प्लान करके रखा है. आई एम प्रीटी श्योर हैंच को हो जाएगा, कोलोमुआनी थोड़ा बाद में करते, बट अभी वो लोग ऐसे सिचुएशन में ना कि दे हैव अ लॉट टू फिक्स. वो मिडफील्ड में दिस शुड हैव बीन डगलस लुइस आइडियली. अगर एक आइडियल सिचुएशन होता यूए के लिए, तो ये डगलस लुइस बिक रहा होता कोई तो प्रीमियर लीग क्लब में या कहीं सऊदी अरेबिया में. But obviously it's not ideal, and we are in a situation where the league is losing 2 key players, or at least 2 well-known players. One being obviously Kvaratskhelia, extremely well-known and all that. But then you're losing a talent like Cambiaso, most likely ऐसा लग रहा है. But let me see what the people are saying. 26 लोग again, like, share and subscribe.
एक फन फैक्ट यार योगेश यार ये तो यार कैम्बियासो गोइंग फॉर ऑलमोस्ट द सेम अमाउंट एज कावराडोना वो थोड़ा
चुभ रहे
अभी
योगेश को।
हाँ मतलब थोड़ा तो अजीब है ना परम इमेजिन ही इज
हाँ,
गोइंग फॉर almost the same amount. So very weird, but again, higher
this
ceiling and
is
I think
football. This is football, Chintan bhai, these days.
generally and Param, what helps is this guy can play literally three positions in the defense.
एग्जैक्टली वो वर्सटाइल प्लेयर पेप को लगेगा ही। मैं आपको लिख के दो, यू कैन इवन यूज कैम्बियास एज राइट सेंटर बैक और एन आउटर सेंटर बैक इफ नीडेड। सो रविंद्र का क्वेश्चन ले लेता हूँ फॉर योगेश। ये ना क्वाराट्सखेलिया का रविंद्र मैं तेरा स्टार करके रख रहा हूँ, थोड़ी देर में लेता हूँ। लेट्स क्लोज आउट द कैम्बियासो डिस्कशन। अजय कंटिन्यूज विद हिज रेड बर्ड आउट मोटिव एनी सेरिया क्लब वांट्स एलवी। नहीं भाई, वो जिंचेनको मुझे पसंद नहीं है, नहीं चाहिए मुझे।
इस
आई
लीग
डोंट
में तो
वांट दिस।
नहीं
नहीं
लेंगे
नहीं,
कोई।
एग्जैक्टली भाई, तुम लोग ही रखो या फिर किधर किधर और स्कैम कर लो, नहीं चाहिए हमको। उठा ले। या लाउतारो डिड प्ले वेल। तुम्हारा कट कितना परसेंट है? आई वुड बी, हाँ, सो अनीश इज गुड वीक फॉर एसी मिलान टू विन द लीग। यूनाइटेड मस्ट साइन लाउतारो, बारेला, डी मार्को। हाँ भाई, एक काम करो ना, सब पूरे लीग से ना प्लेयर ही उठा के रख लो तुम लोग, और क्या बोलते हो?
नहीं इंटर को यूनाइटेड बना देते हैं।
Inzaghi is mentioned by Saki. Saki ने बोला Inzaghi को should have balls and faith to make changes. Saki, by the way, no, I don't agree with Saki's assessment. Saki has been talking generally a lot of nonsense, be it about any topic. He's become like Paul Scholes almost. एक जमाने में obviously Saki was a legendary coach, but if you listen to their punditry, it is horrible. With all due respect, this is no disrespect to Saki as a coach, but I don't understand. Like his punditry is clearly, obviously, to get the views and whatnot. Even Chintan Bhai must know this about what he speaks on TV. It's half the time it's nonsense. Like, so we can
Saki
agree
and
to disagree.
Capello, I think वो
Capello,
थोड़े
yeah,
बहुत
exactly. वो दोनों तो मिलके दोनों बकवास ही करते हैं, and it doesn't come from a place of proper analysis. I'll give you in writing. It is not proper analysis when you listen to what they say half the times. उनको बोला जाता होगा ये बोलो थोड़ा views TRP के लिए, ये वो लोग बकवास करते हैं टीवी पे जाके. I do not agree. Look, some of the criticism is fair, but obviously they go overboard, so I won't agree with that necessarily. Yeah, आसान नहीं होता है, but कभी कभी अच्छे मिल जाते हैं. Cambiaso is mid. I disagree, man. I disagree. I don't know ये मतलब भाई, I don't agree with that. Garnacho is favorites as per reports. Favorite नहीं बोलूंगा इस पे. Again, I'll star this Justdeep so that we come to the Garnacho discussion later. ये भाई मतलब चिंतन भाई, they have more draws than wins. हाँ
ये स्टार करके डीजे को पूछना।
हाँ, डीजे भाई आनी, आप उनसे पूछो कि वो पहले आ रहे कि नहीं स्ट्रीम पे। या टोरिनो देख,
पर वो आएंगे, आई थिंक उसको बहुत ही वेंट अप हो, अभी बहुत भर गया
हाँ,
अंदर।
yes sir, yeah, he was quite frustrated. See Ajay, what I will say is I know कि मिलान एक अच्छे पोजीशन में है for Richie, but Torino is obviously not an easy client to deal with. Now Cambiaso is great, but for 60-65 million it would be criminal not to sell him. This is coming from a UA fan, Ravindra. He's a versatile player, can play in multiple positions. I don't think UA management wanted to sell him, but this offer is big. Yeah, क्या लगता है आप, like जैसे हमने तो डिस्कस कर लिया, but this is coming from a UA fan himself.
It is यार।
Ravindra, yeah, so Ravindra thinks he should be.
It's a double-edged sword, Param. Either
Yeah.
way is a right answer both sides, Param. There is a bigger picture. Eventually, सब लोग example देंगे यार, Param उन्होंने जिडान को बेच के, I think Nedved, Buffon, they bought 2 to 3 big players. So
Correct.
Juventus have been doing that for a very long time.
Yes.
But my point is a very bad time to sell because we have only 20 days left, 15 days left for the market. So
exactly, and I like what Kostub has tweeted here. मैं refresh करा था योगेश ये tweet देख Kostub का. I kind of tend to agree. Like while Ravindra also has made a decent point here, this is what he says, Kostub, कि अगर आप Cambiaso को बेच रहे हो, it is in a way a disaster. At least what his feeling is, because एक वो जो player है जो suit करता है, right, योगेश and Chintan, like Mota system is based on versatility. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
And as Kostub follows up his tweet, he literally is an expert at inverting into midfield, and when needed, sticks to holding weight, super intelligent player. And this is exactly what Mota needs, Yogesh. And you're literally losing that. और जैसे चिंतन भाई ने बोला ना योगेश, do you agree? क्योंकि नया प्लेयर भी आए तो सेटल होने को कभी कभी ठीक है. A lot of times the new player clicks. A lot of time the new player takes time to settle. वो अपन बोल नहीं सकते. So you're literally taking away an important Italian player. एक तो आपका होम ग्रो, मतलब यू नो द होम ग्रोन रूल्स में भी अफेक्ट हो जाता है एक वो, then you're looking to sign a player who might take time to settle in. ये वो साइन करने को भी टाइम लगेगा योगेश, मतलब एक ऐसा नहीं कि कल के कल रिप्लेसमेंट आ जाएगा, राइट? एक गेम वीक चला जाएगा, वीकेंड को भी मैच है, 2 गेम वीक शायद चले जाए. तो डू यू अग्री विद व्हाट कोस्टो हैज ट्वीटेड, योगेश?
Yeah, definitely. That's the sad reality of Serie A clubs, and even though Juventus are one of the better managed clubs, they too need this kind of money injection from time to time, and that definitely affects how their coach sets up the team, right? And Mota is already under so much fire here, like a draw Ventus एक term बन चुका है. I think it is the term of the year in Serie A, and losing out on a very good player like him, it would cost the team a lot many points. I'm just wondering that bec- it's not, it won't be just because of this transfer, but a lot of things that are happening in the Juventus season. If they in the end miss out on Champions League football next season, then they would definitely classify this season as a disaster after the amount they have spent in the summer.
या दैट इज, वो तो है, वो तो एंड में देखेंगे, क्योंकि अभी ऑब्वियसली ड्रॉस तो कुछ ज्यादा ही हो गया, मोर देन विंस. चिंतन भाई, डू यू थिंक एमरसन डिजर्व्ड मैन ऑफ द मैच?
That game was a pretty disaster to watch. I feel no one deserved to win. But yeah, I guess you could see. I think it's just Emerson Royal, but he had a decent second half, so I would not mind it. But who else? Tell me. I don't think anyone else deserved to be a man of the match. So I
एग्जैक्टली.
it's tough name to take. But yeah, I'll
या
be okay with it. Good. Give him some confidence.
ठीक है सरफराज, मैं तेरा स्टार कर रहा हूँ विद अदर, बिकॉज रैशफोर्ड मेरे को एक अलग सेक्शन में डिस्कस करना है. विल क्लोज आउट कैम्बियासो वेरी सून. इंटर नीड्स बैकअप फॉर हकान अगेन. नेरा जूर इज योर यूजर नेम. आई अग्री विथ यू, बट असलानी इज ऑब्वियसली नॉट द राइट वे टू गो. व्हाट आर यूवेंटस प्लान्स फॉर ओवेला? भाई वो लोन प्लस ऑब्लिगेशन में चला गया लाजियो पे, कब के
Why?
उसको
He's
एक दो
done.
साल
He's
हो गए
done.
इस बार.
Rovella is done.
He was sold to Lazio. अब कैम्बियासो को शुगर कट को ना करो. You guys really think he's bad, which is very surprising. Which is very surprising. I don't know what you guys think. Again, maybe you guys need to watch more of him. I really don't understand where you guys are getting this negativity about Cambiaso from. Uh, yeah, Tonali तो गई भाई वो, मतलब I know that pains Chintan bhai as well, but वो ship has sailed यार, मतलब that has been ages now. It has been ages to that for that. Uh, या वही बोल रहे थे चिंतन भाई, लाइक ऑलमोस्ट द सेम अमाउंट. इट्स दिस इज फुटबॉल. This is football these days. What do you mean? Do you think Juventus can't do that? Can you clarify what you mean? Uh, yeah, I agree. You and your backup. Como is the richest club. Technicality पे yes, but they're never
Owner
going
is
to.
the rich.
Yeah, owner is the richest, and वो obviously हो सकता है, but they're never going to spend as much because this is a club, मैं बार बार बोलता है, seen 3 bankruptcies in their history. और their priority is to improve the infrastructure of the club. अभी जनवरी में उन्होंने बहुत साइनिंग्स किए, which I'll touch upon briefly. But there was a time where चिंतन में they didn't have a training ground not that many years ago. They didn't have a youth team, कुछ नहीं था. Finally वो सब आ रहा है धीरे धीरे. So I think for them that is the priority more than anything. Signings, as long as they can stay a mid-table club, that's fine for now. Yeah, Randall Colomwani will touch upon me. I'll star your comment. मैं एक बॉदेन का कमेंट लेके देन आई वांट टू जंप टू, विल क्लोज द कैम्बियासो डिस्कशन, एंड आई थिंक मोस्टली रैशफोर्ड पे आऊंगा मैं. Do you guys think Atalanta is now out of the title race? The last few results have heard them seems a familiar tale, a fast start slowly petering out towards the business end of the season. So Bodhen, ये मैं interesting discussion देख रहा था. I'll get Chintan and Yogesh's thoughts in a second. A lot of people have been saying the way Atalanta play ना चिंतन भाई, जो हम लोग बात करते हैं, this expressive game, this very, to put it very simply, expressive, थोड़ा intensity से मारा, is not sustainable for a whole season, which is not a wrong point, I would say. But again, for me, they have still added some depth to kind of cope for it. Now, the last few results obviously have not been great. हम जानते हैं. But it's not like they're out of the title race. They're still there. मतलब literally 1-2 point का difference है यार. ऐसा नहीं कि एकदम से बाहर हो गए. They're not in a
I think
situation where
I think he meant is they're losing their wheel momentum
steam.
जा रहा है उनका.
Yeah.
But I guess what you said is true, Param, and very difficult to maintain whichever team, कोई भी team ले लो, to maintain
Yeah.
that consistency over 38 games is anyways very difficult.
Yeah.
And plus they are not anymore going to be underdog. Like they are always underdogs in the UCL, but they are going to be not just any participant anymore.
Correct. And बोलो.
eyes are to be on them.
Yeah. और ये बात बराबर है. Before I get Yogesh's opinion, because the way they play, to sustain it is difficult. And also हम Atalanta की maturity के बारे में बात कर चुके हैं योगेश. They have their maturity like this has not been tested in the league before, right? मतलब in stages it has, to the point where they were not a Champions League team, to the point where they became a Champions League team, then they consistently became a Champions League team. But in terms of winning the Scudetto, it has not been tested, right, Yogesh? तो तुझे क्या लगता है, डू यू थिंक दे विल फेड ऑफ कि नहीं वो लोग कर लेंगे, बिकॉज और टेक्निकली दे इवन हैव बेटर प्लेयर्स ऑन द बेंच नाउ देन दे एवर हैड इन द पास्ट? क्या लगता है तुझे?
Yeah, this Atlanta is like one of the best Atlanta squads out there, like of so many seasons. If we compare, this is one of the best team, and it is kind of well rounded here. And they are little. I don't think so. They are out of the title race.
Yeah.
Just like all four teams who went to Saudi Arabia, they kind of like dropped points. So that is a similar.
Was not us, by the way, initially. अभी कल ड्रॉप किया वो अलग बात है.
Yeah. So all of that is just like a player that it affects players. Yeah, like so much traveling and so many games in between 3 days that affects player, and you're bound to lose out these points. So I don't think
Exactly.
so. The title race is very tight. Yeah, like it
Yeah,
is
title race is
one of the
far
it is
far
one of
from
the
over.
best title races compared to like what other leagues are having. So I don't think so. Atlanta are out of the title race.
As Chintan has been pointing out कि कैसा है ना, इतने गेम्स में तुम्हारा कहीं तो क्वालिटी ड्रॉप होगा. यू कांट एक्सपेक्ट, इवन इफ इट्स देयर जॉब और व्हाटएवर, it's not humanly possible to play at a top level so many games. Like Mkhitaryan, Chintan of all people, got injured, which doesn't happen, and फिर भी बंदा, I don't know if you saw the news, Inter's training, Yogesh, was scheduled for 11:30 in the morning. Mkhitaryan reported at 8:30 with an injury, and he's fit for the next game already. So ये level of fitness आपको हर एक जगह नहीं मिलता है, एक दो प्लेयर में मुश्किल मिल जाता है. It's not easy to maintain this, as Chintan has been saying. Like even Milan, अभी जो मिलान को बाउंस बैक करना है सीजन में, it's not going to be easy, because it's even for them the games are coming thick and fast. They're in the Champions League, they're in the Coppa Italia, they're in the obviously Serie तो खेलना ही है, और सुपर कोपा तो फाइनल तक जीते वो लोग. So this is not easy for anyone. This is far from easy. So again, Bodhan, we don't think the title race is over for Atalanta. एक last लेके then I want to ask, get to Marcus Rashford. The only way to say if the Cambiaso sale is good or bad is to see how we use the money. It's impossible to say right now, but we can use a proper defender, preferably an experienced one. Exactly ना. So वही मैं बोल रहा हूँ. कितना टाइम बचा है भैया?
वही Ravindra, no one is denying that it's very difficult to reject that money, and had he been an experienced proven player also, is very difficult. Our point is only that in 15 days do you have enough time to achieve the targets which you've set out? That is going to be a little tough one, and again this is not done yet. It might take 1 or 2 days, so you never know.
By the way, this is a funny comment, because if you think we don't understand what curvas are, I don't think you understand how weird the ultras in general are, because both curvas have had their leaders arrested and whatnot. So if you guys really think these curvas are saints, you guys have it all wrong. I think Chintan Bhai also knows this. अगर आपको करवा के बारे में 2% भी पता होगा, you know what kind of people they are. That's all I have to say to this. Garnacho 60 million is too high, but what do you think? He's coming from the Premier League, bro, and he has a long contract with Man United, so cheap तो नहीं आने वाला. We'll again touch upon that, but Chintan, let's get to Marcus Rashford, then we can go to Garnacho as a possible replacement. Let's get to this comment. Where did it go? हाँ, ये रहा. Sarfaraz ka. Why is Milan management still stuck on Marcus? It's clear he's showing preference towards Barcelona, not AC Milan. Milan management is. So obviously, Chintan, my news circulating is that कि आप लोग obviously Kyle Walker से initially talk start किए, but because of the non-EU spot, you know obviously had to put him on hold and then also see where the Marcus Rashford thing is going. There is side news on the side by more pro Barcelona sources that Marcus Rashford is waiting for Barcelona, not entirely reliable. But we are in a, with you guys, we are in a 50-50 situation, whether it's Walker, whether it's Marcus Rashford. वो EO spot की वजह से, obviously two different positions, but because of the whole non-EU spot, it is coming to that. In your opinion, which one has to be, who is the player Milan need right now more, in your opinion? Simple as that.
I'll give an unpopular opinion, and I think we need an attacker. I think we need an attacker very badly, be it a striker, someone, because boss, we are creating chances we just cannot finish. I'm not saying we are going to be Champions League contenders, so we know we have to fight in the league. We are going to go as far. Conceição, Param will take us as far as possible. This team is going to fight. I know Emerson Royal will make mistakes. I know we have Jimenez who's a little more attacking, and I know we have Calabria. So Kyle Walker seems like a no-brainer, but Param, if you go to see the number of chances Milan has created, like especially in the last two games, you can't say created a lot against Como, but at least you need a striker who can finish. I loved Lautaro's finish yesterday. Well, that was such a striker's finish, and I don't see us doing that. We have luckily won a few games where Tammy has missed sitters. We have against Cagliari, boss, it was terrible. So my unpopular opinion is I think we need an attacker. And again, Milan management is stuck on Rashford. See, there are two reasons. I feel I've already said this before. There are commercial interest also where Rashford still eventually is a big name. You know, he's a big name. He's a player coming from Manchester United, which is again a massive club, probably one of the most fans across the globe after Real Madrid or more than Real Madrid. We don't know. So we are going to get a commercial value. Plus, he's a great. He likes to play support striker too. अभी कितना proven है. Again, इधर उसको space नहीं मिलेगा. But again, I don't blame the management to go for him because again we have Pulisic whose workload is so much and Param वो वापस injure हो गया है. Against Como he was subbed off, and we have Chukwueze who's injured. Okafor का सबको पता है that transfer broke down. So there's too much workload on Liao and Pulisic, and with the, as you said, the games coming thick and fast. We will need a player who can play here, and you never know. I just read the news that 16th को मतलब एक meet है between Conceição and the management to what they want. So I guess both are necessary, both are important eventually. Kyle Walker will always be a stopgap arrangement. I won't be surprised if he works also. यार पर हम चल जाएगा शायद. Though I still feel if Kyle Walker goes to Inter Milan, that would be very scary actually.
नहीं भाई नहीं चाहिए. I'm good. Like I have my reasons for not being a fan of that. But yeah, continue, Chintan bhai.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that I would again. I'm not. I won't be. I'd rather have Rashford over this guy or an attacker over a defender right now.
Yeah.
Midfielder
Look again.
We are crying for a midfielder for so long.
Yeah.
I don't know what midfielder.
So I just wanted to say I find the Rashford thing a bit confusing, honestly, because again, एक तो Okafor जाता, वो deal collapse हो गया. Then I could still have understood Rashford. You get my point? Like I'm not saying Rashford is a backup-esque player or backup type player, but you get the point because the thing is you need an out-and-out 9 more than anything. And
yeah, exactly. But Param, वही तो बोला Okafor का भी जो transfer break like it's broken down. So I also don't think Rashford का भी होगा. Because exactly. Serie में तो ऐसा ही है बॉस. One transfer is dependent on the other transfer. जैसे कावरा का हो गया है. जैसे अगर Cambiaso को हो जाएगा, one the transfer is done, it unlocks the other transfers. So I don't know, but I'm still very surprised that you. By the way, Param, I don't know if you saw the Milan game, was it Cagliari? You could see that finally Fofana का थोड़ा dip दिख रहा है. As in physically, dude, he's going to be tired. He's fatigued. He's played probably the most number of games for us, and the amount of runs he's going to show a little drop in form. And जैसा अभी मैंने पढ़ा इसका comment, this one, dude, it is actually very true. I'm not joking. You can see Benacer, since he's come back, he's put on weight. He looks unfit. More than the match sharpness, he looks unfit.
That has been for a long time. He has looked unfit, to be fair.
So, and by the way, I think Milan management were very hopeful, just like me. I'm saying I'm just going to be talking as a very biased Benacer fan, and Param, you know I love Benacer. मेरे को accept नहीं करना था, he's done, but since the Super Copa, he's been subbed off so easily. He's got, so I don't think Conceição trusts Benacer anymore, and fair enough, you know. So now I think there's a lot of pressure to get a midfielder. Again, जैसे तू बोला अभी सैमुअल रिची का करेंगे क्या, अभी नहीं आएगा तो मतलब there's no point. Friendrup का तो all links have died down. So that clearly Milan are focusing a lot on Rashford and Kyle Walker. But my unpopular opinion is, I know all of them will say we need a defender, but we need a striker so badly.
Striker, exactly. More than anything, because
I keep forgetting that Feyenoord striker's name, yaar. I bought him.
Sandy Jimenez.
Yeah, wait.
Jimenez,
इतना गुस्से में आ गया, मैंने उसको मैनेजर में बाय कर दिया लेस्टर पे. But yeah,
उसके लिए कैसा,
but at least he looks more agile, and someone who's younger, I don't
Yeah,
know
no.
that.
So what I will say about Santi Jimenez is कि as long as he's in a team with where the very simply put कि जहाँ service अच्छा है, he will do well because he's very heavily dependent on the service being good around him, and then he can make something happen around in and around the final third. If that is not there, you can see those struggling moments which happens with the Mexican national team basically. Not the way to compare a national team and club. Obviously, it's not the best thing to do, but you get the point I'm trying to make, right? So,
Yeah,
as
yeah.
long as Milan have the right profiles around him, which I feel is obviously good enough. If you have Pulisic, Leao, if you have obviously Tijani Reinders, I think Santi Jimenez on paper I can see fitting at AC Milan if that were to ever materialize, right? So that is
Param,
not a bad shout.
एक flying question. Concesa, of course, was in Porto for so long. He must have known about
Hmm.
the setup and all. Do you think any players he might be interested to pick up for this Milan team?
ओवर द टॉप
Current,
ऑफ माई हेड ना, ओवर द टॉप ऑफ माई हेड एक 2 मिनट तो दो मेरे को सोचने को, बिकॉज आई एम श्योर एक दो तो कोई होगा ओवर द टॉप ऑफ
yeah,
माई हेड
I would have
मगर
loved Ivan
डिपेंड.
Ilsen, by the way.
हाँ, एवन निल्सन पर वो तो ऑब्वियसली मतलब वो तो
Yeah.
लुक आई विल अगेन डिपेंड्स ऑन व्हाट यू गाइज आल्सो नीड, बट अगर एकदम हाइपोथेटिकली सिर्फ बोलूंगा राइट, एकदम हाइपोथेटिकली विदाउट कंसिडरिंग योर नीड्स और एनीथिंग ऐसा, और एक्चुअली इवन कंसिडरिंग योर नीड्स ना, damn, this is not easy. I would say at least if I'm not wrong, wait, defense में तो मतलब funnily enough, should I say Thiago Jallo because I know he's not under Conceição, but last season का है
Yeah.
वो तो, but यार I think one player I can maybe think of is Stephen Eustachio, the Canadian, because he's
Okay.
not a DM per se, but again for those who don't know the player, let me pull up a face 1 second.
ये सब लोग
Because
एडवार्डो पेपे बोल रहे हैं. I think he's a right wing.
Pepe is one I thought of, but I
I
like
don't think he'll fit
Eusta.
in. As in
Yeah,
right.
yeah, exactly. So Eustachio has been a very underrated player for a while. I feel like मैं उसको बहुत सालों से देख रहा हूँ. Again, he plays for Canada and even for the Canadian national team, he's actually very good. And I feel he's that type of a 6-8 hybrid, leaning more towards a 6, but a very calm player जो मतलब dictate कर सकता है tempo. And again, I feel थोड़ा मिलान में वो midfield में lacking है अभी. And I feel this, if any player, if he would need or ask for, you guys could do with this. Again, only thing is he's not an out and out DM, which obviously you guys have also been asking for. But I feel I could see Eustachio fitting in if anything. I feel that's the one to go for. And obviously he's played under Conceição बहुत सालों के लिए, मतलब बहुत time से he's been at Porto. So yeah,
Again, यार, unfortunately, 28-year-old उसके प्रोफाइल में
yeah,
बैठेगा मिलान मैनेजमेंट के प्रोफाइल
हाँ
में.
मिलान
मेरे पास
मैनेजमेंट की
मतलब थोड़े कंप्लेन आ रहे कि चैट तो ले लो, बट यार गाइस वी आर आल्सो.
चैट तो ले ही रहे, बट ऑब्वियसली देयर इज अ लॉट टू गो थ्रू. योगेश तू पुल अप करा कर भाई साइड में, मतलब
By
मैं
the way, just to tell you, Milan have been linked with Bologna sporting director Sartori now. I don't
Sartori,
randomly.
मिलान एंड रोमा बोथ. सो लेट्स सी वेयर
Yes.
ही गोस, बिकॉज़ रनियरी अभी मिशन पे होगा. वो जब उसका कोचिंग टेन्योर खत्म होगा, ही इज गोइंग टू बी द एडवाइजर टू रोमा, योगेश. दैट मैन इज गोइंग टू बी अ मिशन की मेरे को एक्स कोच लाना है, मेरे को वाई स्पोर्टिंग डायरेक्टर लाना है. Yeah, it is heartbreaking to see definitely. Leao, I don't know, but yeah, Kvaratskhelia and
By the
Cambiaso.
way, कुछ भी बोलूं, I'm very proud of Milan to hold on to Leo for so long,
Yeah, of
and
course. I
it is
think both
amazing.
both our clubs should be proud कि अपन दोनों we have been able to
Yeah.
hold on to
इंटर तो
players
यार
for
परम,
years.
इंटर तो अभी जीत भी रही है, अच्छा प्रोजेक्ट भी है, बट आई वेरी गुड टू सी निको बरेला staying, Lautaro staying, and just
Yeah,
extending. Amazing.
exactly.
He's
Yeah.
by far the
ये
best.
again, I don't know
नहीं, ये हो
from
गया ना,
your
ये ले लिया.
नहीं, हाँ, no, I'm just saying, भाई, we have also had situations where our ultras have gone to Steven Zhang's office and protested in his face. So the thing is, while your protests are justified, my point about ultras being not the best representative is a whole different thing.
Listen, पहली
Rahul
बात
is
तो
here.
just I tell you something in short में परम,
हाँ.
किसका कमेंट था? आई थिंक वो मिलानिस्ता है शायद,
हम्म.
बट Ajay, yeah, whatever, it doesn't matter which club to use about. These ultras also have a very ulterior motive.
Exactly.
They are quiet at probably one of the most difficult times. ये ultra किधर थे? I'm just saying. I again give an unpopular opinion. I know Maldini was ungreat, like sacked very badly. Uh, I'm not defending what work he did because he had his flaws, but the way he was sacked was utter nonsense. How you can't be so disrespectful. तभी अल्ट्रा ने कुछ किया ही नहीं, पर हम तभी
Yeah,
सब बैठे थे. So they
they
have their
all
ulterior
have they all have ulterior motives. All their agenda. See, ultras. I'll tell you one thing. They come from a political perspective. Yogesh, if how I don't like, if you ever read about it, all these ultras they might show passion towards the club. उनका एक political motive रहता है और इसलिए connections रहते हैं. Why do you think ultras befriend some groups? Like for example, Milan ultras will have friendship with X number of ultras of some other club in Europe or outside Europe. Same goes for every club. There are political motives behind this, and they
And by the
really
way,
don't care as much about the club as you really think. They show one side,
and
they
by the
show
way,
it. हाँ,
अभी जो हो रहा है now again
हाँ,
ultras are by
exactly.
the way against Juventus, Milan ultras are going to be because of the
Protesting.
usual ticket prices
Yeah,
protest
yeah,
कर रहे हैं.
yeah.
Again,
कल
by the way,
इंटर
एक बार उनको थोड़ा डिस्काउंट लेके उनको कुछ ग्रुप डिस्काउंट देके कुछ टिकट्स दे देंगे, चुप करा देंगे, फ्री टिकट्स देंगे, they'll be
कुछ
quiet
नहीं
again.
हाँ एग्जैक्टली
So,
कल इंटर अल्ट्रास protested against in the
मैं तो
Bologna
सिर्फ
game.
एक ही चीज बोलूंगा, अल्ट्रास के बारे में डिस्कस नहीं करते हैं. They might be watching.
डरना कभी तो हो गया यार, बस हो गया, अभी बोल के भी हो गया, अभी डरना क्या, जाएंगे अपन उधर अपना 7 मैन स्क्वाड लेके और ठोक देंगे.
टोनाली तो यूवेंटस हो सकता है. अभी टोनाली जाएगा नहीं, न्यूकासल वोंट सेल.
वो ऑलरेडी यूए कलर्स में खेल रहा है टेक्निकली प्रीमियर लीग में बस. एमरसन रॉयल हैज वन अ मैन ऑफ द मैच अवार्ड. एंड ऑफ द वर्ल्ड इज नियर.
But by the way, just to tell you, Emerson Royal left Spurs, came here, won a trophy in 6 months.
Yeah, that is actually funny. Inter without Hakan is nothing. Aslani was the best player for Bologna. By the way, uske rumors hai ki before the game and after the game that Bologna is interested in Aslani. Maybe that's why he dropped the stinker yesterday.
And Aslani, दोनों
Yeah.
कचरे साथ में.
Exactly, it is like that, na? Apna Cataldi and Bove when they were linking up before Bove's situation, it could be like that. I think all these moves in January is a desperate try from our manager to try and influence the results on the pitch. While our defense has taken a hit without Bremer, our attack is much better. Fair enough. Vlahovic की तो बात कम करे तो ही अच्छा है, I guess, at this point. Theo को man of the match मिल सकता है. Not saying he's bad, bro. Just saying he ain't 60. But the market is overpriced, no? But if you value any Premier League player at a high price, what is there to say we can't value our players 10 times more, right? So we have every right to do that.
What a time to enter, DJ.
What a time to enter. Finally,
Guys,
by the
I
way,
just got back from the gym and I'm seeing all my WhatsApp is blowing up.
गया DJ भाई. What should have been Vlahovic has ended up being Andrea Cambiaso. क्या बोलते हो?
Guys, I have a very unique opinion if it comes through. 65 million is a lot of money, even in this inflated market. And the likes of Juve, Milan, Inter kind of know when to sell. You could either sit and say, sorry, he's Belotti and he's worth 100 million, and then you trade him for 1/5 that, or you can sit and take this important offer and reinvest in very important positions. So, it's a double-edged sword. No doubt it's happening in the middle of the season, but it is an important sum of money. And I'm speaking as a Cambiaso fan. I call my dog Cambiaso, so you know that I'm a legit fan, right? It's just coming from that where I think if the numbers are true, I mean that's more than what you get for Vlahovic. And let's keep in mind the other part. Just playing devil's advocate is Thiago Motta. Anyone who replaces him is going to be a system coach. So you don't need a superstar to come in place of Cambiaso. You need the equivalent.
That is fair, but that's what we were discussing, DJ, because Kostov made an interesting tweet that one of the few players that literally fits Motta's ideology is Cambiaso. He's so versatile. He understands everything, and you are taking that gamble of losing him. I know it's not like you have a choice. It's not like you can say, "Chalo, Vlahovic le lo, 60-65 million." Maybe ideally, if everything was ideal, you would have dumped Vlahovic or maybe Douglas Luiz onto someone and made that kind of money. But your situation is such. But we want to get your opinion before we move on, because Chintanmay and Yogesh gave 2 different opinions and they were quite interesting. Because I know you just said that, but are you confident that Juventus replacement sign kar payega? Because we are already on the 16th of January. And it's not like ekdam se replacement abhi next game ke liye aa jayega, maybe not even the game after that, and the games are coming thick and fast. We'll come to the Serie A results, but obviously yesterday you also voiced your irritation with the draws, because now you guys are just drawing every game. Ek win to mushkil se aata hai, kabhi aaya to. So losing such a fundamental player right now, I know it's too good. Like it's huge. It's huge money. Even Ravindra agrees with you. He say give the same opinion. Do you trust your management to find the right replacement and to fill the other gaps with that kind of money?
I think I'm in a minority. I've actually been very pleased with Giuntoli's work. I think he's a guy who has a certain idea of football. There is a vision in place. He doesn't buy anyone randomly. He's buying people
Mm,
in tandem with the coach with certain characteristics. And he's very clear that he wants players who fit a system. How many of in the present moment, how many left backs are there right now that kind of play like Cambiaso? Not many, especially in the
mm,
Italian pool, right? But my point is that 65 million helps you in a way where it helps address key problems. We have a problem right now in the center of defense, more
mm,
so than the left. And McKennie's actually doing a very good job on the left. I know it's a short term plug,
mm,
but
mm,
for now, he's doing a good job. Where are our priorities? Our priorities are up front. We have Kolomwani, who's come on a dry loan because you don't have the money. Zirkzee,
mm,
who is someone who's been touted at what 45 million. We don't have the money for him. Our key problems right now, and Cambiaso, mind it, has been injured now for a little bit, so he's just coming off an injury. Personally, do I want him to be sold? I would say
of course not.
no, but 65 million is a lot of money, in today's context. And I just read a comment where Arun P said he's not worth 65 million, but the point is, if someone is paying 65 million, then he is worth that, in their perception of football, which is Pep
Mm,
and Manchester City. So the point is that, like, I think I would take the 65 million and I'd run to the bank.
mm. So this is what Di Marzio is also reporting now. Ki Morata and Juventus would not like to give up Cambiaso as he is considered as an important player. UA's position is clear. No offers will be taken into consideration unless they are deemed too good to pass up. So this is where we stand. Does the
Well,
UA
this is
Juventus
this
manage?
is Param, this is posturing. This is just trying to get the price up. The
Yeah,
likes
yeah.
of Juventus and Milan, especially, they have the oldest trick in the book. There's money on the table, you run to the bank. There,
Yeah.
no guys, we've sold Zidane. Yeah, what is Cambiaso? With
Mm.
due respect, I love him, but like we've sold Zidane and built a killer squad.
By the way, guess what, Dij? Guess what? I just gave that example that if you have to build a squad, Juventus sold the Zidane and they bought two. Did you buy Nedved and Buffon with the same money?
Oh, Nedved, Buffon, and Thuram in that window, boss. Like,
Wow. Wow.
Mm.
money can change a lot of things.
Money can change a lot for sure. I
65
mean,
million, and Param, I'm going to go out on a limb, and I may not be popular for saying it as a Juve guy. I actually rate Giuntoli's ability to sell way better than I did Marotta's. That's one. And two, I think he has a better vision of football when he's buying. He doesn't just look for opportunities and freebies and just, you sign a Sami Khedira, you sign someone on a free contract running down, let's sign him. Why world champion? How do you play him? Right? You've got to have that vision, and Giuntoli has that. It's just a matter of it coming together. If 65 millions on the table, I would take the money. Do I want Cambiaso to be sold? No. So it's a bit complicated, but all things considered, 65 million is a lot of money.
and basically Di Marzio basically also dropped another update where he says ki Juventus are asking for 80 million from Man City. So let's see where this
Yeah.
news heads.
That's what I'm saying,
Also,
Param. It's
yeah,
posturing and saying he's important to the system. Boss,
yeah.
you get 80 million. Who is
Yeah,
going to say
80
no?
would then 80 is hard to turn down because obviously then that's 15 million more आपको room मिलता है उतना.
I won't even
We'll
say no
come
to
to
65, guys. I mean, Vlahovic is right now rated at 50 million, 45 million.
So
Kavra got sold for 70.
yeah, we will.
There you go. Quara got sold for
we'll
70, yeah. There you go.
yeah, we'll come to the Kvaratskhelia, I mean replacement situation, Yogesh, very soon. But before that, there is some other news I just want to quickly touch on. Obviously, Torino finally is trying to do something in the market thanks to the great Urbano Cairo. They might get Cesare Casadei. It looks like Chintan bhai. At least एक ढंग का player sign कर रहा है finally Cairo. ऐसा लग रहा है. But I
I thought he
wouldn't
was
put it
going
past.
to Napoli के साथ collapse हो गया.
नहीं, Napoli नहीं. It was more of Monza. I mean, I would go to Torino rather than Monza, right? At this point of time. So that is one. Apart from that, we have an interesting piece of news. So let's go to the Garnacho, the whole Kvaratskhelia jazz of it. Because obviously, guys, एक तो I want to get because Yogesh ने तो एकदम heartfelt video बनाया है अलग से. He was carrying the stream the other day alone by himself, and he was doing it in Q&A format, and I managed to join in. And I blame Napoli largely for it. But actually, wait, before I get into it, because people are saying comments nahi le rahe ho, let me take a few comments. Very quickly, I just want a one-word answer on this. DJ, why you answer this? Then I'll Belanova or Cambiaso.
What?
One word answer only. No explanation.
Prince, I think you go for it. I think you and I will be on the same
Yeah,
page.
so what the hell? Like, what?
Yeah.
Like,
fair
why
enough.
is this a
No,
question?
if you gave me Belanova under Juric, maybe I would consider, but not this version of
It
Belanova.
doesn't work that way, na, Param. It doesn't.
Yeah, it
just
doesn't
works
work that way,
more
obviously.
outlook of a
I'm
player.
saying if it was Belanova right now playing
And
like that,
this is me saying after Belanova being a Milan youth player.
yeah, can Nikopas be an upgrade on Brahim Diaz? Why
Unpopular
not?
opinion is
But
already an upgrade.
but
This
अभी
is
वही देखते हैं.
This is Brahim after playing for Milan.
The funny thing about this news is that I know we are trying to get a deal done with Real Madrid if we can to get Nico Pass without a buyback clause. अभी वो होगा कि नहीं वो अलग बात है, but I know कि for a fact that Inter are trying very hard behind the scenes.
Listen,
Cambiaso is not solved.
हो जाएगा तेरे लिए because imagine if they ended up selling Odegaard to
Yeah.
Arsenal. So
Yeah.
ऐसा भी हो सकता है, they eventually might end up selling him also.
I'm telling you, if we sell Frattesi, पक्का उस पैसे से एक निको पास या रिची पे तो असॉल्ट बोल रहा हूँ. एक तो इटालियन टर्म्स जो ट्रांसलेशन है गूगल ट्रांसलेट के दिमाग में बैठ गए डीमार्जियो के, डेफिनेटली उस पे लॉन्च करेंगे बिड इन दोनों में से. Cambiaso is not solid defensively. He has cost us 2 as much as I love him. 60-65 million is, yeah. So wow, interesting. A lot of people for the sale of Cambiaso. Yeah, he's smart if he gets a good replacement as well. He's just a chill guy. Yogesh has been through a lot emotionally. Now we'll get to all that. We'll see him break down as well. I'm just coming to it very slowly. चिंतन भाई को मिलना है. अरे भाई मतलब ये तो अलग ही लेवल का. An Inter fan liking so an AC Milan fan so much. I've never seen this.
भाई
Meanwhile,
वीक पे आ जाना, हम लोग मीट करेंगे तो नेक्स्ट वीक में आ जाना.
हाँ मीट करेंगे. या लाजियो का मैं इस स्ट्रीम पे डिस्कस नहीं करूंगा भाई, क्योंकि इस वीडियो को कुछ कुछ स्ट्राइक वाइक लग गया तो प्रॉब्लम हो जाएंगे. बट या लोटिटो फायर्ड द डॉक्टर एज वेल, सो मेक ऑफ दैट व्हाट यू विल. We have who is Juve going to sign apart from Araujo? They're not getting Araujo. That ship has sailed. Araujo is staying at Barcelona. Obviously, they have signed Alberto Costa, which maybe we'll do like a profile video for him.
Guys, there's to Jig. I think there is also talk of preponing the Hanchko purchase.
Hanchko,
there is talk that might be preponed independent of a
इस पैसे तो Hanchko आ ही जाएगा.
Yeah, independent of a sale of Cambiaso, there is one more defender that's due to come in.
Yeah, Mihir says AC Milan needs strikers. Chintan Bhai will be back soon. I want to get his opinion on the Kvaratskhelia thing as well. Morata and Tammy are useless for sure. Milan needs a new sporting director. They're going for wash and old high-wage players. Interesting opinion. Luka Jovic is like... I don't think I need to say anything. क्या बोलते हो चिंतन भाई? कुछ बोलना ही नहीं है इसके बारे में.
Jovic is a mystery. I cannot believe that he was just given a contract extension. He's got his number also. क्या किया ये start of the season? I have no idea.
Yeah, that was such like I don't like. Let's not even dwell on it. He's not even worth talking about, with all due respect. They sent Okafor. Okay, I'm not going to say that, but yeah, Okafor couldn't clear the medical, which is because Okafor की injury history थी. Even when I remember when you guys signed him, Chintan bhai, the hype was unreal. But I always knew कि इसका injury record है, and this is what we are seeing to date.
But he was not injured. I think they wanted someone who's ready to play immediately, and he had no match fitness.
Yeah. We took this comment. What is lacking in UA and 13 draws? ये थोड़ा बाद में discuss करते.
We'll get to this point.
We don't need Walker. Dumfries is top 3. Yeah, even I don't. एक तो Walker would mainly play probably as right center back, but I don't want Walker at Inter either. Again, we took this news. We've discussed it. Hirendra. Zegrova, Milan should target. So he is on Napoli's radar.
By the way, I was really hoping this happened when Fonseca was there, man.
Fonseca was there, exactly, because he revived Zegrova's career. Although Zegrova was like his best friend. If you go back, if you find this video on Twitter where he had promised Zegrova कि भाई अगर तू एक मैच में गोल या असिस्ट कुछ करेगा तो I'll take you on a shopping, I'll do the shopping for you basically, I'll cover all your expenses, and
But
he
that
actually
assist
did.
was against Juventus only, na? What an assist that was, yeah.
So he
What an
covered for
assist.
Zegrova's fancy clothing expenses, so he would have been a good fit. But Yogesh, we'll come to Kvaratskhelia in a minute because Zegrova is one of the names on your list, obviously, but it is difficult to get done. Again, the source is more pro Real Madrid, so not the best way to look about it, but I wouldn't be surprised if they were to come calling, is what I will say. I'm
Isn't
not
he
going to
injured
be.
still?
नहीं, he's back, but he's still getting to match sharpness ना, मतलब एकदम से कैसे
कोई नहीं लेगा. No one is going to spend because January means you want to player to play immediately.
Yeah. I'm not. And Pavard is not leaving in January. We're not selling our team in January. Yeah. Come on. It's so disheartening to see great talents moving out of Serie. It's Kvaratskhelia now, potentially Leao in the future. I don't think Leao goes, but yeah. Tammy, Morata, UH है तो strikers आपके पास. This is like the deadly trio, Yogesh, जो मतलब deadly का पूरा meaning की वाइट लगा दे. क्या बोलते हैं?
By the way, इसमें रवि को बोलते हैं कि इसमें तेरा काय हैवर्ट्स ऐड कर ले तो क्या बोलते थे?
हाँ, काय हैवर्ट्स ऐड
100
करो.
goals a season.
Yeah, Gabriel Jesus add कर दो, Avengers बना दो for the wrong reasons. RLC, Benacer are both past their prime. Yeah, I agree. मतलब RLC का I wouldn't say there was a prime. It was a purple patch more than anything.
हाँ, well said.
Someone should buy Patrick. So Patrick Dorgu, obviously, वो famous video है जो योगेश obviously खुश होता होगा. I'm sure he watches it every day once at least. मतलब हर दिन तो एक बार देखता होगा where Conte is whispering in Patrick Dorgu's ears in their first meeting this season against Lecce, I want you. It's literally evident he says to him कि I want you. और Patrick Dorgu is literally nodding his head. And interesting news आ रही है actually चिंतन भाई Lecce से कि apparently Liverpool might be interested, and there is Napoli and Liverpool basically who in the future might be battling it out for Patrick Dorgu. So देखते किधर जाता है. Chintan, but very brief question for you. Where would you like? I don't want any explanation again. Where would you like to see him objectively, Napoli or Liverpool with the links going on? No explanation, only one word.
Liverpool.
Fair enough. Liverpool. क्या बोलते हैं योगेश? अभी गुस्सा आया सुन के. There are reports that you were pressing for ATS. We just addressed that. So yeah, if you can make it happen, nothing like it. Oh yeah, I just saw this. Sorry, Milan, Monza are in talks to sign Balotelli and Origi.
if anyone out there can actually, I'm going to give one opinion. Galliani is the biggest Milanista in the world, and this clearly proves it. If he takes Balotelli and Origi from us.
पर वही चीज है ना चिंतन में, funnily enough they all take, both are rejects. You remember that took D'Ambrosio and Gagliardini from us, Pessina from Atalanta. He was still good, but Pessina was a local as well, right? Pessina is local Monza, so he was made the captain. But this guy took D'Ambrosio, Gagliardini, now he's about to take Fode Balotelli, Divock Origi. Like, this is unreal, man. This is desperation. This is the height of desperation. But Yogesh, चल थोड़ा comments में वापस आ जा तो guys, again like, share and subscribe. We have 27 people watching. Yogesh, Kvaratskhelia तो चला गया भाई. मतलब I know वो video था. He went to Maradona's mural. All this he did. I don't buy all that, by the way. मेरे लिए वो सब acting है, theatrics है personally. एक तो
first did you see he looked back before doing this first? He saw someone shooting the video or no?
Do you buy all that, Yogesh? Do you actually think he meant it, or तुझे क्या लगता है कि वो सब acting है?
नहीं ठीक है, like yeah, ठीक है. In this day and age, we can't expect much from players, and he did what he had to do. And like
but
at least
how I have a question. How did you believe that was real?
Conte ka press conference, yeah. Once Conte said,
looking at the museum and looking at it and looking all sad, you don't feel he's really happy to be moving?
I think so. He's happy because he's the one who requested for the transfer, and since
गलती किसकी है यार योगेश? You only think.
गलती तो दोनों साइड की है ना, राइट?
De Laurentiis तो उस दिन admit किया था, बोल मत. De Laurentiis more than anyone.
बोलने तो दो. I would say both sides की गलती है, because one from against Kavara, the point is that who leaves a club which is top of the table after 20 games and who leaves in middle of a Scudetto run, and the point for De Laurentiis and those guys is that मैनेजमेंट को फर्स्ट सीजन के बाद में ही दे शुड हैव बम्प्ड अप हिज
Yeah.
कॉन्ट्रैक्ट, गिव हिम अ रिन्यू, लाइक 2023 में ही उसे दे देना चाहिए था, बट they
Exactly.
dragged it on for so long, and in the end they offered 6 million euros, but that was way too late and way too little to hold on to it. So and if they had to hold on, like agar, if I speak from a purely financial point of view, अगर Kvaratskhelia को hold on करती थी this season, after the performances that he has been putting in, you could have sold him for much a higher fee to other clubs as well. Like there would have been other clubs lined up as well, right?
Mm-mm-mm.
So it's
So
a
we
loss
will.
for both sides. I just hope that for
नहीं, नहीं,
Kvaratskhelia,
Yogesh, but
good.
to your point, Kvarya, look, a January transfer is always going to be more inflated than the summer.
Yeah.
So I think
But
par for the course. I mean, even if he went in the summer, I don't think he would go for much more than this.
no, but there is a way to look at it ना डीजे भाई, जैसे योगेश बोल रहा है, अगर अगर उसने एंड किया होता सीजन एकदम स्ट्रांगली तो पैसा, आई थिंक पैसा तो मिल जाता, राइट डीजे भाई, बट आई थिंक दिस इज वेयर इट चेंज, राइट? दैट डे आई वाज टेलिंग योगेश इन दैट स्ट्रीम ही कैरीड कि this is more coming because, as Yogesh said, this is true कि Quara pushed for it. He pushed badly. His agent, his camp, Mamuka Jugeli and all these guys, they pushed for it because they are clearly influenced by the Osimhen situation. Because we saw how ugly it got with Osimhen.
Yeah.
He's still not officially sold. We
Yeah.
know this. He's only out on loan. There is a release clause, and he never got the. Because you remember, DJ, but there was a point where Chintan, if you remember, when Osimhen was in talks with Chelsea and Al Ahly, and he wanted to go to Al Ahly at that point, and but at the time, De Laurentiis ने 5 million का difference था और deal accept नहीं की. It was only a matter of 5 million. So I'm pretty sure these guys must have thought of all that, thinking कि भाई De Laurentiis can get as petty as not, accepting a difference of 5 million. We need to ask to leave Napoli right away, because in the summer, if anything happens, if he does well, his value will still be high. He'll be branded as a 2-time Scudetto winner, which is the same as Maradona, technically speaking. And we won't let him leave. He won't be allowed to leave easily. And this is where we stand, DJ. Basically, that's what I'm. At least my
Listen,
opinion is, because
what you said is absolutely true. My
Yeah.
only thing is you need to treat a star player like a star
Yeah.
player. I know you want a star culture, Param, the point is जो योगेश बोला, my point is if he is your star player, Kavra
Yeah.
should not be on 1.5 million salary. Keep
1.2
increasing his
Chintan by 1.2.
yeah, 1.2. So look what Milan did. Liao ka, there was no extension. Tijani, best example is Tijani. There was no extension needed right now. But just to value, Yogesh just value his contribution and to see that vision that Tijani might be sold for a big money.
Yeah.
So you keep the player happy temporarily right now. Give him a big salary. The Kavra, had he been on a 3 million already, imagine. Okay?
Yeah.
Had got that one bump. So what happens is this is a huge, you can't give 1.2 to 6 because of fear he might go. You already upset him.
और वो भी रहता है ना, like I have seen a lot of many player agents demand that if you rate my player 100 million euros, if you rate me 100 million euros, then I should have 10% as that of that as my salary. So 10 million euros should be my salary.
See, listen,
But
Yogesh,
Yogesh,
you जो बोला ना is absolutely true. Then there are, of course, by the way, and there are certain agents who act pricey also, like Casey transfer. Casey extension was done, but his agent acted. Milan let him go. There you have to show your strength as a club. But my problem with Napoli has been that, very sorry to say, but you have to act like a big club over here. You will not see such an error from Inter,
Literally,
Juventus, or
Chintan bhai, these are the words I said to Yogesh the other day. What you said, because DJ bhai, think of it. They lost Kim Min-jae after winning the Scudetto. ठीक है, I don't blame them for that. There was a release clause in it. ठीक है, चलो. Then the way they lost Osimhen. Now, obviously, they were largely at fault because of that whole social media debacle. But I don't think Osimhen is a saint by any means. Chalo, he is also an asshole. Yeah. Kvaratskhelia for me is the biggest bummer because this guy actually liked Napoli. He at the end of the day he's going for money. But जैसे चिंतन मैंने बोला ना, 1.2 million after winning the Scudetto is criminal for one of the best players in the league, at least. And what DJ, I think the biggest mistake, as you said, ना कि as अगर तुम वो renewal 6 million को उसको immediately offer करते वो accept कर लेता, he would have been happy. These guys took over a year to give him the 6 million now.
But I fully agree, Param, with what Chintan said. You won't even need to reach 6 million. If it had reached 3 million also, you would be happy.
Exactly. And to your point, हाँ
बोले पर finish.
बोलो.
नहीं, my biggest example, I'm just going to give you a like-to-like example is Rafa Leao. There was no extension in due, but he's been gradually increasing his salary because we know, सबको पता है eventually वो शायद चला जाएगा. That's why I'm so happy Milan have held on to him without winning anything major, not been in the mix of Champions League, not even been in the mix of the league. But what क्या किया मिलान ने उसका gradually salary उसका भी 1.5 से increase करके 6 पे लेके आया. Now that there was Theo, because अगर राफा लिया 6 पे पहुंच गया, Theo has to reach. We did that. Tijani ka half a season and we already bumping his salary up. So my point is, as a big club, you keep doing this within your
limits. I agree with you. This is what we did with Nicolo Barella. उसको limit में हम लोग देते गए और exactly उसको promise किया कि तेरे को हाँ योगेश X number of increase मिलेगा going forward. Lautaro Martinez. This past summer, you remember there was talk of
heavy links.
Yeah, heavy links तो था. मतलब if you remember, कि you know he might not sign his extension. His agent was asking for 12 million. Yogesh, but
exactly 12. But Inter was so strong. So my point is, act like a big club. This is where ADL might have to do it. You can't be so stringent with such top players. क्या हुआ? लेके आए एक टाइटल जीत गया because he was from Georgia, and plus I felt कावरा का personality जो परम तूने किधर बोला था, he's a very calm, simple guy. So you know चला देंगे ऐसा नहीं होता है. If you want to keep your player right now, probably in the league, Inter, Juventus are probably the best sellers. But there's a reason why Juventus are best sellers, because they'll keep doing that. They'll keep making players feel they're important, and that is very important. Finally, Milan have learned that after letting Donnarumma, Hakan, and Kessie go for free. We have learned this lesson. हमारे 3 players free में चले गए. We should have at least gotten 60-70 million for all 3 of them.
Yeah, and Yogesh, वही है. तू तेरा मैंने obviously we were discussing this. You, as you can see, Napoli fans are clearly unhappy. वो मैंने picture, I'll just pull up again. कि some of them are like already dumping his cardboard cutouts in the bin. ये थोड़ा I feel, I mean that's the emotional part of the game. You can't even judge it really. It's not that simple. But okay, we are getting some. हाँ, obviously तो Matteo Moretto ने थोड़ी देर पहले रिपोर्ट किया था कि 70 मिलियन का प्राइस टैग है गर्नाचो पे. लेट्स कम टू द रिप्लेसमेंट साइड ऑफ थिंग, बिकॉज योगेश ने तो ऑलरेडी बहुत बात कर चुके हैं क्वाराट्सखेलिया के बारे में. Let's get to the replacement side of things, guys, because we are seeing a lot of names. Okay, like a lot. मतलब it's not slowing down. Napoli का latest offer. Pedula generally is a trusted source. मतलब he can get it wrong. He's Di Marzio's biggest rival. They both hate each other's guts. So whatever Di Marzio reports चिंतन पे Pedula उसका opposite report करेगा, और whatever Pedula reports Di Marzio उसका उल्टा report करेगा. Right? So that is one funny rivalry.
I think Param, that's also got to do with a lot of these journos. Now they have private personal relationships with the DSs at the clubs. So they tend to be contrasting at times, Correct. For example, very surprisingly, Pedula for a long time has been off with Juventus.
Yeah.
But in the summer, he beat everyone. He beat GDM, he beat Momblano, he beat... It's unbelievable. So I think that came down somewhere to his relationship with Giuntoli.
Yeah, of course.
And like that, Pedula has a good relationship with Beppe.
Yeah. Pedula at a time, or still actually he's so good friends with Sarri. So if Sarri, like wherever he coaches, anything to do with transfer news to do with Sarri, he's always going to get it right. But besides the point, bolo.
Yeah, go ahead. I wanted to do a screen share, like screen share करना था.
अच्छा तेरे को करना है, करना बोल. मैंने बंद कर दिया. So we will, because I want to discuss the replacements. तो तेरा pull up कर ले, because there are a lot of names.
But possible, मेरे को एक चीज बता. Of course we'll discuss Garnacho. My question for Garnacho.
ये क्या तू अभी ये क्यों निकाला? ये क्यों pull up किया भाई? अभी इसमें भी डिफेंड करेगा क्या?
Interesting है. Let's get perspective. Point being what?
So I believe like Higuain का सेल को टॉप ऑफ नहीं कर पाएगा Kvaratskhelia का सेल, because in case of Higuain it was a summer transfer, release clause था in the contract, and यहाँ पे player ने request किया transfer करने के लिए. So I don't think so 90 million euros hit करेगा, but it will be more than 64 million that we got for Cavani. So it's going to be number 2 most highest transfer in Napoli's history.
I can't believe Simone Vardy is in top 10. Like,
exactly. I cannot believe Milan sold him for free.
Yeah. Simone
But
और
boss,
3 top.
again, Fabian Ruiz, you got
Fabian
way
Ruiz.
less than
Alan at Napoli was crazy, so I can still understand.
Mind blowing. What a player!
Yeah,
Alan
exactly.
and Jorginho were amazing.
Yeah. But guys, Yogesh, तेरा ये खत्म कर ले. Let me take a few comments, then we can just circle back on the replacements.
Yogesh, तेरा
Also,
वो
I like one
Higuain
comment
वाला,
over here.
you know how 90 million happened, na? So the clause was, guys, that Higuain was 90 million, but it was could be paid in 2 installments.
2 installments.
Yeah.
Which is why Juve was able to trigger it. It was only for Italian clubs. I'd say outside of Italy, it didn't. You didn't have that option of 2 installments.
Yeah.
But it is very funny that a lot of teams do that. Milan had a clause for buyout clause for Benacer, 50 million, but not for Italian teams.
Yes. Yeah. Correct.
Yeah.
So a lot of
this is a
these
great
agents
comment,
don't
yeah.
have these
Thank you
secret
so much,
deals. Na?
Aditya.
Guys,
Same thing happened with Ronaldo as well. If you guys remember Cristiano's deal.
it happened even with. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, the same thing happened with Cristiano's deal, where there was a certain buyout clause, but in secret that only applied to 7 or 8 clubs.
Yeah,
And
because
for clubs outside of those 7 or 8 clubs, it was about 95 million or so.
you have to protect your interests. Na? It was there for Dybala also, na, after he went to Roma. Because you remember when he went to Roma, there were reports right away that he could leave. And so for the Di Marzio said this, right? For Italian clubs, the clause was 20 million, but for foreigners, it was 12 million.
12 million, yes.
Yeah, so is Ivan Fresneda not going to Como? No, because Juventus signed Alberto Costa, so Fresneda to Como has collapsed as a result. Eduardo Pepe, attacking midfielder from Porto, is a good shot for AC Milan. Again, we are looking at the chat. अगर आप चाहते हो transfer news भी discuss करें, वो तो करना ही है. Wanderson Galeno is a good shot. He's actually a very good player. But I said Stephen Eustaquio is the one I see fitting the most at AC Milan. Omorodian afford करने में Milan will have to spend big for Omorodian. मतलब भाई, it is difficult. It's difficult. Pepe is like Salemakers. He's 50 times better than Salemakers. There's no comparison. I'm sorry, भाई. ऐसा मत बोलो कहीं और. I'm sorry, with all due respect to AS Roma and Ajay bhai, he's way better than Salemakers. Is Darwin Nunez, Chintan bhai.
Can't, yaar. We have already players who are missing goals. Yaar, kya karenge? But guys, in perspective, did you guys observe? Tell me, you can't take Haaland's name. And of course, Lautaro Martinez is one of them, and Lewandowski. Other than that, we don't have any good number 9s coming up. Probably the position which is going to be missed the most.
देखते हैं interesting Chintan में देखो. I mean ऐसा लग तो रहा है, but again, you never know, yaar. At the end of the day, what we know for certain is AC Milan needs a number 9, a proper number 9. I think that is certain. So I'll come to the Garnacho part of it. Just let me take your comments for a bit, then let me get to replacement, because replacements one by one from everyone's perspective. Again,
This
we'll be discussing.
Milan are literally linked with all such. DJ, the names are so yummy. Trust me, you're like, oh wow, we are linked to him, and then we end up getting Tammy Abraham. So that's a story of Milan always.
Since we're all in the same boat, it's not just Milan. All of us are in the same boat.
Yeah, I'm glad to see some
fans carried away with Araujo a little bit also, yaar.
Huh?
Yeah.
You must have gotten carried away with Araujo also a little bit. Barca.
Listen, it was a very realistic situation, but anyway, like I don't think it's worth 50 million given how injury prone he is. If you see his injury record, it's shocking, and to slap 50 million is just a January transfer fee.
By the way, sorry, I just DJ Wi-Fi. I don't know if you saw the news. I'll early want Max Allegri in June. So
lovely.
Yeah, Allegri could be back in a job very soon, and I would love to see him.
You can call him Allegri.
Allegri, yeah.
Allegri versus Pioli.
Allegri, मजा आएगा भाई. मजा आएगा. But see, look, some people have realized about ultras what we were discussing, and somebody here has already experienced it as well. Aditya says this, ki there are a bunch of whatever you want to, obviously. They're friends, but Frankfurt ultras are some of the worst if you really know about it. Birthday था Emerson Royal का, maybe that's why they gave him man of the match. शायद इसीलिए परफॉर्म किया लगता है उस दिन.
As long as वो penalty incident Tammy के birthday वाला ना हो, that's more than enough. Right? वो
Yeah.
नहीं चाहिए.
वैसा ना हो. Of course. Again, yeah, I agree with you, Ravindra. I agree. DJ, by thoughts on Juventus' reason. We'll come to that. I'll start your comment, football
पूरी
enthusiast.
किताब है guys, पूरी फिल्म है, संजय लीला बंसाली फिल्म.
Marco Di Natale, okay, one of the better sources for UA. Not for sale. Let's see if they'll hold their ground. Let's see. Again, as DJ Bhai said, it is more of a negotiation tactic as well. So I'm yet to always. So I have watched a bit of it. Maybe I'll make a separate video with DJ Bhai or someone to break down the profile more, because I have recently I've not gotten the time. But again, maybe we should make a separate video on this. Cambiaso, yes, sorry, ये ले लिया था मैंने comment. I think double. मिलान की विंटर विंडो फेब में स्टार्ट होगी क्या? क्या बोलते हो चिंतन?
ऐसा लग रहा है 16 days and again मैं बोला हूँ yummy names you get discussed with high profile players in talks करके word आ रहा है, but no I said we need a striker and a midfielder very badly, but I don't see. I think one player might come. I have a feeling we might get Rashford or Walker, but we'll get one player for sure.
Fair enough. Let me stop with the comments. I'll come to it again. जैसे आप देख रहे हो. Let's start with the discussion, guys. हम लोग नापोली के लिए रिप्लेसमेंट्स के नाम देखे जा रहे हैं. मतलब गर्नाचो, we've now seen Adeyemi, who I'm personally not a big fan of because of the injuries. कितने नाम है? गलेनो भी ना एक नाम था, योगेश. Then who else am I missing out here? Dhananjay from Bologna is one name जो आ रहा है अभी. पर let's start with योगेश himself, the Napoli fan. क्या बोलता है योगेश? तेरे को कौन चाहिए और तेरे को कौन चाहिए? That can be unrealistic, but who do you think realistically you sign? Because Garnacho is not going to be easy. Like Pedula भी इधर बोल रहा है कि your actual offer for Garnacho is 45 million euros, and he is mostly right on this one considering what other sources have been saying. What is your sensation?
Yeah, definitely Garnacho fits a profile. Like, he's 20 years old. He is an Argentine. We can't expect a 20-year old to be a finished product. Ki uska, like, he'll give you crosses, assists, and that much impact in his first season or first half a season. But from whatever sources I was able to gather, he's the one who Conte has pinpointed, and I think the club is doing whatever is there in their power to try to get to him. But if Garnacho does not comes in, I believe Patrick Dorgu of Lecce would be the next most likely candidate. So that's my opinion on the replacements that we are trying to get. And in the meanwhile, let's not forget David Neres has actually stepped up his game in the last few 3-4 games, and he has been playing, like, he has been causing a lot of trouble. So as long as Napoli are winning, like Napoli winning the Scudetto with Kavara leaving mid-season would be a special thing here.
You're also playing one competition, so come on. Like, with all due respect, I know we also won with one competition, but एक बात है कि ऐसा तुम नहीं बोल सकते कि Neres is enough. I don't think that is personally good enough for you to win this, because Neres is a very temperamental player. भाई बीच में गायब हो गया था, if you remember. He is that kind of a player that will go missing for 4 or 5 games in a row. That is the reality. मतलब you still have to sign a replacement for Kvaratskhelia. Don't you agree with that? क्योंकि 70 million बेच रहे तो उससे एक प्लेयर तो खरीद ही सकते हो तुम लोग.
Yeah, definitely. Like, Kvaratskhelia को भी purchase करना है and एक defender भी चाहिए. So I guess those funds that will be coming in they should be used judicially and injected back into the club.
But don't you think Dorgu to yaar, he's a wing back, so he's not going to fill in the Kavra role anyways.
Dorgu Chintan में is a separate conversation. This is for
he took Dorgu's name. I was like, Dorgu to कुछ नहीं कर, like.
No, he said. तू क्या बोला है to Dorgu?
I think Dorgu is linked very heavily with them. I think they might just buy Walls as a defensive cover, because again he can, with the contest system, he's going to play where DiMarco plays then eventually.
No, so mostly like basically that right wing back, left wing back, but I can see him flourishing here, Chintan bhai, because
he's amazing. The only reason why I said Liverpool, because I rather have him play there than have him as an opponent.
I understand.
No chance. But again, I was just going to get to this Garnacho. Very heavy name, of course, a big name. Again, Param, I'll ask you this before asking, like, because objectively, Yogesh might be a little biased. Yeah, do you see him leave United first of all? Point number one, doesn't matter where United are. First of all, they're letting Rashford go. Looks like Rashford is going somewhere. He's a regular starter for them. He plays. I know some United fans in the chat are frustrated, but he's still there. Greenwood के बाद डिबाकल, Greenwood they had to sell. Again, Greenwood is a great player, but of course they had to sell him for certain reasons.
Yeah.
Do you see him leave? Forget, I don't see him leaving even in the summer unless there's a proper bid. And he's not going to go for anything less than 70-80 million.
सो मैं एक चीज मुझे लगता है ऑब्वियसली वो पीएसआर इश्यूज की भी बात चल रही थी बट आई स्टिल फाइंड इट डिफिकल्ट योगेश एंड चिंतन में डीजे भाई बिकॉज एट द एंड ऑफ द डे ऐसे जैसे बोला ऐसा कि नहीं ही इज नॉट यूजफुल एट ऑल मतलब ही स्टिल अ काइंड ऑफ अ की कंपोनेंट फॉर मैनचेस्टर यूनाइटेड हम लोग कॉस्तुब से भी डिस्कस कर चुके हैं ही इज गिवन हिज ऑब्जेक्टिव व्यू यू नो कीपिंग हिज बायस असाइड एज अ फैन. Can I see him fitting in at Napoli? Yes, but Kostub did highlight a few struggles, which I agree with. Ki deep block ke against he still needs to mature up as a player. But again, the hefty price tag एक तो है ही चीज और ऊपर से it's I don't think it's that simple. I think he will stay. I just don't feel Napoli will invest that kind of. Napoli will also not push that much. You know, spend that kind of money on one player. जैसे योगेश बोला, they would rather divide that into two. Sign one defender, sign one player to replace Kvaratskhelia and bolster the squad properly to see through to the Scudetto for the Scudetto, you know. So I personally think ये होगा नहीं. Again there are other names linked. Which one I feel I can see happening maybe is wait I'll tell you which one. Where the hell
Ademi.
is that? Yeah, and I don't think this is a wise idea. I personally
Well,
don't
Ademi
think.
is not a bad player.
Yeah,
He's
He
not,
did destroy Milan.
but again, guys, he needs a little bit of micromanagement. You know, it's
Yes.
not a guy. He needs his head in the game. Conte is
Yeah.
the right guy for him. And
Yeah.
just closing out the Garnacho bit, I feel personally for me, I feel Garnacho more a Ten Hag boy than he is Amorin. So I think they will be open to letting him go, but I agree with Param that Napoli will not pay the Quaria money for Garnacho. Not happening.
Yeah.
They will.
Yeah, and-
All Italian clubs do this. Yeah, even if
Yeah.
they sell abroad, they will reinvest in more than one player.
Exactly, and it only makes sense, na DJ Bhai, for Napoli because
Absolutely.
we have spoken about this, right, Chintan and DJ Bhai, ki this is a club right now abhi ek competition खेल रहा है, so it's fine to not necessarily complete the rebuild. Now we know they're going to qualify for the Champions League. They'll probably be champions at the end of the season. We'll see. Now they have to start thinking of the rebuild or whoever they sign for the long term. You cannot have more Leonardo Spinazzolas, Chintan bhai, like I never understood that signing. एक तो ठीक है, you can't have these kind of signings going forward. I know Conte फिर भी करेगा. So Adeyemi, where I don't understand is because of his injury issues simply, and to get rid of those injury issues is not that simple. But moving on from Adeyemi, I still feel he's a talented player. I've always liked his profile, but the injuries have just held him back a big time, and I don't think he's worth the money. But Chintan bhai, let me come to you before I go back to Yogesh and DJ bhai, because this is another name I'm seeing. Obviously, Gazeta hai, not the most reliable source, but I can see this coming to fruition because it logically kind of makes sense. And I see Dhananjay as a very Conte type player because Chintan bhai right wing खेलता है, ये right wing back खेलता है, ये साला as a attacking mid भी खेल चुका है Bologna के लिए, and we've seen him last season score goals, assist. This season was a bit flat because of the coach change and all it affected him. But I can seriously see this be a very Conte type signing. क्या बोलते हो?
Yeah, 100%. Great names. To be very honest, there are good names linked with Kavraka, replacement. Again, only Garnacho financially does not make sense. Endoy, even as a long-term replacement, Politano, I've never liked him too much. Yeah. Again, he's been performing very well for Napoli recently, but again, this guy will replace Politano immediately. I feel like there's no questions asked. And again, good profile, as you said, can play entire on the right side. This is a no-brainer. This should be a no-brainer. I think this and Dorgu should be no-brainers for them generally, for them to rebuild, because Dorgu also is a profile which they will need eventually when Conte is, of course, there. So certain profiles are no-brainers for Conte, and I like it. I like Ademi, because he probably might need a club. See, Dortmund and Napoli, both similar clubs in a way where they are big clubs. They carry they have a lot of fan-based clubs there. They are, I'm not saying that they are the clubs which, of course, build players for bigger clubs, but it is very easy to manage expectations. As a player, they are loved, they are worshipped then eventually. So I feel Ademi and they are very good players to be at Napoli right now. And again, we never know how far it goes. And again, Garnacho ke topic pe baat kar rahe hain and Kostub comes. I was so shocking that players like Kobe Mainu and Garnacho are linked away from United. I have no idea either. Probably the only time I feel happy as a Milan fan is I know there's another club which is run far worse than United.
Yeah.
So if you go to Endoy and Dorgu are no brainers for me. And
Yeah.
I would be closing these transfers immediately.
Immediately. Before I get to Kostu, first of all, Kostu, welcome to the stream. बहुत discuss कर चुके, मजा आ रहा है. एक funny comment दिखा, so I had to take this as bring back Insigne. This is because actually Insigne is leaving Toronto FC, and if believe me or not, Yogesh, Toronto FC fans hate him. He's been terrible over there in MLS. He's been one of the worst players, performing worse than some of the most average American players over there. Like he's playing as if he's like a university level player जो कभी फुटबॉल को लात नहीं मारा, ऐसे खेल रहा है वो उधर. So I want this version of Insigne to return to Napoli so that you guys crash and probably not qualify for the Champions League again. But all jokes aside, क्या बोलता है कोस्तु? क्या just very briefly, who do you think Napoli should sign to replace Kvaratskhelia, and who, as from your journalistic standpoint, from what you know, you being the Indian Di Marzio or whatever, who do you think realistically has the highest chances to end up as the Kvaratskhelia replacement?
I think जब मैं और योगेश I think 2 दिन पहले stream कर रहे थे, so I gave an outside shout to Rashford coming to Napoli. I still will stick to it because he's not gone anywhere. Plus there is McTominay at Napoli. वहाँ पे you're seeing this English speaking, how do you say it, English speaking group coming together.
Community.
Because firstly, I thought the first Italian club to get linked with Rashford was Napoli. Well before Juve and Milan.
AC
So I
Milan.
thought it was the first club to touch base or to be offered the chance to sign Rashford. So I think there is a chance, but a lot of it depends on Barca. How Ansu Fati ka situation turns out. Dortmund are also going for him because Daniel Malen has left to join Villa.
Yes, correct.
So the good part is all the 3 clubs they're talking about have a sort of a vacancy. Spurs also have a vacancy because Timo Werner is injured. And he's useless anyway. Timo Werner is also a candidate to join Napoli, by the way. But I think
Timo Werner was linked. I completely forgot Timo Werner was linked. Bhai.
वो next day injured हो गया.
You
He'd rather get injured.
Correct. Yogesh, so by the way, if you've not watched as much of Timo Werner, link up में फिर भी decent है, but बहुत chances miss करता है. मतलब गोल मार ही नहीं पाता. Simply put, he's one of the most.
Tammy Abraham तेरे को अच्छा लगेगा.
If he was not as bad a finisher, Spurs would have been 2-0 up semi-final because he missed a very easy 1v1 against Alisson. Obviously, the first leg semi-final. But apart from that, I think the likeliest is Dhananjay. Because financially it looks like they're close. If I combine 2 reports together, Gazzetta reported that Bologna want about no, I don't think Gazzetta didn't mention a price tag. They mentioned that they want that Napoli are offering around 30.
Yeah.
So elsewhere, I think Rai reported that they want around 30 to 35, which to me tells me that they are probably close in the valuation. Whether he's worth it or not is a different case. I think he is, but I think for now it looks like Dhananjay because Zagrova, Lille don't want to sell him.
Yeah,
Lille don't want to let him go in January. Even though the relations अच्छे हैं.
Yeah, but their president said, right? It was Yogesh, if you saw the comment earlier, he said कि we are not letting anyone leave in January because David भी जाने वाला है summer में. So they don't
बोलते रहते हैं यार.
भाई देख, presidents तो तेरा ही president तो बात बड़ी करता है ना. You should know more about it, and then you guys end up losing key players back to back. So the joke is on Napoli, bro, like more than anyone. But let's close this discussion because we have a few things to discuss and then we can close the stream, guys. Thoda fatafat se let me take a few comments if you guys don't mind. When DJ Bhai is also back, so we'll discuss Kolo Muani thoda and then take a few more things and close. एक इंटरेस्टिंग पीस ऑफ न्यूज है जो मैं थोड़े कमेंट्स के बाद पुल अप करूंगा बिफोर आई पुल अप कोलो मुआनी. कहाँ गया यार, where the hell did I stop? Alberto Costa वाला, sorry. So I said separate video शायद इस पे बनाएंगे. Vlahovic to Arsenal, I can't see it happening. I don't think Juve will sell him, or it's not like they'll get the right price now.
Can it happen though? Please.
Can it happen? DJ has given up, as you can see, on Vlahovic, and rightfully so, to be fair. Thoughts on क्या मतलब क्या सबको आर्सेनल को क्यों लिंक करना है हर एक प्लेयर? What is this thoughts on Vlahovic to Arsenal रहते कि ये क्या चल रहा है मतलब एक
because they are all linked. They are all linked because I think they
अरे
Jesus injury. सब
हाँ
लोग
बट
linked है.
अरे ये चिंतन भाई क्या है ये मतलब फिर भी यार कम ऑन
Agenda, selling agenda.
या और किसको लिंक करना है? चलो क्वाराट्सखेलिया लिंक टू आर्सेनल, टैमी, क्रिस्टांटे. भाई एक तो क्रिस्टांटे स्वैप डील इन फ्रैटेसी वो देख के मेरा दिमाग घूम रहा है. इफ दैट एक्चुअली हैपेंस ना मेरे को लगता है मैं शायद कोई लाइव स्ट्रीम में आऊंगा ही नहीं वापस इसके बाद. If that ever happens, he could unlock our attack. Who is this Ravindra? Sorry,
Xerxes, I guess.
Xerxes.
I think
Yeah, very difficult here, but let's see. Very difficult, but let's see.
But also, Ravindra, he's not a scorer.
Yeah, he's not a scorer.
He's a facilitator. So you're looking for that fox in the box. That's not the answer to a issue.
Yeah. Speaking of fox in the box, Tuttosport today reported that Juve could want Retegui in the summer.
Yeah. And Scalvini.
Scalvini and Ederson.
Interesting, because I see Retegui as someone who will only work at Atalanta. We know how many players at Atalanta have not worked out after leaving. I see Retegui literally as that kind, but let's see. Garnacho is literally ultra downgrade from Kvaratskhelia. I don't know why. मतलब किसी को तो खरीदना पड़ेगा ना. मतलब they can't leave that gap. I mean,
I don't agree. मतलब ultra downgrade तो नहीं है.
Ultra is a bit too much. Yeah.
He's
मतलब
not that.
Exactly.
He's only 20. Yeah, like the jury's still out. You know, he could grow. It comes down to how he's managed.
Yeah, exactly. I agree. He's only 20. यार ये पावर्ड वाला मतलब वो तो देखेंगे. वो it's not a Kongi. Emerson Royal man of the match against UN Inter. I would say against both of our clubs, but definitely against Como if you like that. I'm an Arsenal fan, but I have been watching you lately and like Italian football a lot. You guys are doing a great job promoting Italian football. My favorite Serie club is Napoli. योगेश का दिन बन गया क्वाराट्सखेलिया के खराब न्यूज़ में ये सब.
एक और sentimental video मत बनाना कैल्सियो चर्चा के लिए.
But nice to have you, Aditya. Please spread the word again. As you can see, we have a Calcio Charcha.
Aditya, do join the Calcio Charcha group and let's connect over there.
अभी योगेश एकदम इनिशिएटिव ले रहा है. वो देख लिया ना नापोली फैन, तो अभी एकदम से
careful how your data is used by mastermind Yogesh.
Yeah. And Yogesh, by the way, साले तू रोज नापोली वीडियोस अपने इंस्टा प्रोफाइल पे स्पैम करता है. मतलब इट्स दूसरा कंटेंट भी शेयर कर भाई. पूरा स्टोरी नापोली वीडियो से भरा रहता है चिंतन में. If you see, like it's spammed with Napoli content. I'm like, क्या कर क्या रहा है भाई? He's taken over the whole. He's going to make it a Napoli community, I feel. But yeah, Kai Havertz is overhated. I mean,
overrated, but also overrated.
We'll have a separate discussion, and I'm talking about I'm talking about this opinion not being just because he's in Arsenal. I'm talking about his Leverkusen days also. So yeah, I have a lot about Kai Havertz to talk.
Exactly. Arun is here. He says Napoli relegation due to bad morale. Napoli should sign Anthony from Man United.
I agree.
I would want to see him doing that spinning nonsense under Conte. मजा आएगा.
वो उसको concentration camp में भेजते हैं.
How are we calling that a trick first of all? किसको बना रहा है उससे? वो क्या है? Trust me, DJ, if you've not seen it, can you pull it up? परम है उसका.
Let me find something. Because तू भी देख जरा तेरे को मिल रहा है कि नहीं. Like
I think some Europa League game में था वो. I think against Betis.
I'm just
as I remember.
Also, the point of a trick or a dribble is to get past someone. You know, to use it to deceive your opponent.
He deceived himself only.
I don't know what is that. What is the
Where is it?
What
yaar.
Milan?
I found an image. Wait, let me search. Go ahead, Chintan. Go ahead.
So I don't know. what is the purpose of that? And the look which he gives with his raised eyebrow, which is of course a meme now. I don't know what is this player. And again, this player, I see he's not bad, but because such players come with such heavy price tag to United, is I think they're just burdened by that. DJ, itna heavy price tag, they're all coming for like 60, 70 million, and they're all kids eventually. Again, Garnacho,
और
I'm
गलती उनकी नहीं है यार.
yeah,
Since
exactly.
that
club is
increases
flawed,
expectations.
obviously.
But Kaustubh, this my thing is, what is like you as a United fan, of course, you are the most you want these players to leave so that they get better. Also, you know that the guys are kids. These guys are young ones. And already I feel Garnacho has done so much for United at this young age. What are they expecting them to do to win trophies or get Ballon d'Ors the next year? I don't. What are your expectations? ये logic से लियाओ को इतना patiently हमने रखा है. United would have kicked
Exactly.
you out already. Don't you think so?
Yeah. And plus, Garnacho is into his third season as a professional, by the way. When a lot of kids are actually young, which is fine. I also didn't watch Ronaldo coming through at United, as in when he was 19, 20. At 20, Ronaldo was not even a first team regular. He was a squad player. Okay. Sir Alex did not play him regularly until his third season. And when he was actually 20. Garnacho at 20 is probably more trusted as a first team player than Ronaldo was back then. So people need to think about things in a different way. And the problem I have with the perception around Garnacho is that people say he's very arrogant. So the problem is if he scores 3 goals in 5 games, and then he's arrogant. People don't have a problem with it. If he scores 1 in 7, that is when people have a problem with that arrogance. So it is not about the arrogance. It's about how many goals he scores. It's about the output.
Exactly.
You criticize what is on the pitch, not
Yogesh,
his personality and everything.
Yeah, and by the way, I was just watching this Patrick Evra ka overlap episode, and he just summed it up United's problem in 30 seconds. He said that when Paul Pogba moved to United, the first thing he told Evra is, I'm lost. Because he said at Juventus, I knew where my midfield partners are going to be. So I was anticipating a pass. I was anticipating someone receiving that pass. He said, when I came to United, he said, I was like this with my hairstyle and all. I was like this even at Juventus. But it's just that because I came here, there was no setup, there was no system, and they expected me to score like 20 goals. Patrick Evra said that biggest problem with United was they wanted him to be like a Lampard, Gerrard to score 20 goals.
Exactly.
That midfielders anymore. कौन सा midfielder मेरे को बता 20-25 गोल मारता है यार. So very badly managed. It's just probably the worst run club.
Yeah. But ये इसका 70 मिलियन दे दे योगेश, मैं मतलब हैप्पीली उधर जाके तेरे को पैकेज करवा के हॉकिन कोरिया दे दूंगा.
7 मिलियन भी ज्यादा है उसके लिए.
अरे चलेगा यार, अभी तो पैसा है नापोली के पास. Yeah, he is Indian यार. Yeah, he's a friend of mine. मतलब I know him. So I've been planning a video.
He was born in Italy, I think, and now he's living in the UK.
Yeah, he used to. So obviously he lived his early years in Milan, and that's how he started supporting Inter. Basically, R9 fan and Inter fan, and then he moved to Leicester. He had actually come to India a few years ago, and he might mostly we are planning to do. So I have planned to do a video on Icardi with him, like mostly like a look throwback video on Icardi's time at Inter. Just trying to figure out the timing because obviously he lives in the UK. But yeah, we are planning to have him on for a live stream as well. He's been open to coming on for any kind of stream because he's still been promoting our channel on many platforms, and he might be coming to India very soon. So the day he's coming, I don't want to reveal all that, but the day he's coming, we are planning to do something. There's still time for that, so hopefully we can make that happen because obviously his channel is also growing. He's doing very well, and he covers Serie as well. So obviously he knows Kaustubh too. Matlab Kaustubh also has obviously seen his channel and everything. So hopefully that will work out. We gave our thoughts. Deepu, इसमें तुम थोड़ा stream के पहले जाओ. I personally feel they should keep him, but then if the money is that good, then I can still understand why if they sell him, Yeah, that is definitely Adel saying Neres is good enough. Like, that is no way you can tell me Neres is good enough to be the only player to replace, play in place of Kvaratskhelia. ये मस्त है. Adama Traore, इसके साथ आपको बेबी ऑयल भी मिलता है. You can, what he does, if you don't know, he applies baby oil on his arms so that. Yeah, I hate. I don't know how that is allowed. I just don't get, because I feel he's an average. I don't like the player. एक तो मुझे पसंद
पेस
नहीं है.
मर्चेंट है यार, पेस
Yeah,
मर्चेंट
pace merchant. एक तो end product बकवास है. And you know, I don't know, Yogesh, if you know, he actually applies baby oil on his both arms, so players can't grab him. And I don't know how they allow it. Like, I never understand how it is allowed. ऐसे तो
And
सबको
secondly,
करना
he's a liar. Secondly, he's a liar because he says he doesn't work out.
ये क्या कुश्ती वुश्ती लड़ता है क्या
That
वो?
is that is the biggest lie a Premier League footballer has said
Exactly.
in the last 20-25 years since the Premier League began. ऐसा हो ही नहीं सकता. हाँ, he said that.
Yeah.
He said
Bullshit.
that
Have you seen
I'm
his
this
body?
way naturally. I just use baby oil.
It's like the
His
Hulk saying
tagline
the
should
Hulk.
be, "You can't see me."
Yeah. It's like, yeah.
It's like that. It's like that the Hulk saying that I don't do leg workout.
Yeah, exactly.
हाँ, exactly.
Yeah. Thok says, कैसे हो आप सब? UA going for a dance, so let me refresh and see SI. But before that comes up, there is an interesting piece of news for Atalanta which I wanted to touch upon. So ये बहुत टाइम से this source Filippo Davide Di Santo करके, he's the only Atalanta source pushing this कि Atalanta is pushing for Ryan Cherki because of obviously Lyon's financial issues and whatnot.
Is he
And he's the
now?
only. Sorry?
Is he going to play for Italy also now, national team?
हाँ, वो भी एक न्यूज़ था कि Italy were trying to get him. There is no update on that we need to see. I think he's not
Mancini होता तो he would have already been in Italy.
Italy, yeah,
Mancini
exactly.
उसे Italian मार के बना.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but so he's the only source for Atalanta saying कि Ryan Cherki is like on the radar and concretely so that Gasperini wants him. There is no other Atalanta source saying, so we'll have to see. Like every other Atalanta fan I'm seeing is going against this guy saying कि they don't believe him. He does not get his transfer news right. He's good for other sort of news. But if Atalanta pull this off, any one of you guys who want to give an opinion, do you think this is a signing they need, and do you see Ryan Cherki, a talent like Ryan Cherki, just giving them that edge in the Scudetto race? Any one of you guys?
Costo बोल दे.
I feel yes, he will give that edge because honestly, like about 12 months ago, he was linked with City as well, very briefly. I thought a player like Ryan Cherki is too good to play in a positional system. Very possession, very hardcore positional system. It will restrict him a lot. So I feel even for the player, it would be a better move as compared to going to a, I don't know, maybe Juve, City, or hypothetically even United for that matter, because Atlanta are more as in a technical way, relationism based. But I don't think it's as advanced yet because Padula and all the other reporters have said that he's only an option along with Julio Enciso of Brighton. So I think they don't want a player of that type in this window. If they want it, it's probably like a second choice. But I don't think unka priority is to sign an attacking midfielder or someone who plays in that two behind the striker. It would either be I don't know, a centre back, because centre back there's an injury problem. It would ideally be a centre back. And from what I've been told by someone is that Cherki is likely to play in Germany for now. But it is what it is. We'll see.
By the way, but I don't know why. Somehow I get that very lazy vibes from him. I think he's needed for Italy. I think Italy के लिए बहुत important हो जाएगा if he comes and if he's eventually convinced. I read rumors that it is almost done, but I think again, पता नहीं. I think if he's linked with to play for the Italian national team, it will be good to have him in the league also. But again, he gives that very lazy vibes. But there was another player called Ganso from this Brazilian.
Ganso. FIFA पे हमेशा उसको
He's still around.
82.
Brazil में.
82.
He was linked with Milan every season. Every season linked with Milan. But again, a very similar profile, very lazy, very much off the ball. कुछ करना है मेरे को, very much that kind of player. But yeah, if he's ready to play for the national team, good yeah. And I really don't see him play anywhere else. I think Italy is the good stop. Pellegrini को जो हम लोग खिला रहे वो forcefully in that DJ, he'll finally get a relief because this guy's a natural attacking midfielder. What about
Yes,
guys? What about Lazio getting that Bayern Ibrahimovic? Yeah, Arihon.
Arion Ibrahimovic, yeah. क्या बोलता है कॉस्टो? I don't know, like
Is it dry
I
loan?
don't know.
First of
I
all,
find it very strange more than anything.
Yeah.
Like I don't think it's a bad signing, but I don't think there is any reason to be excited either because
Yeah.
he's been on that verge of breaking out, and अभी तक हुआ नहीं है बहुत टाइम से. Maybe Lazio में उसको थोड़ा time मिले. But then even if he, let's say, breaks out, I think Bayern has a decent enough buyback clause in it. So I really don't see the benefit for Lazio per se. Like I don't know what their plan was after like behind that transfer. Chintan, I'll just say I'm more excited for the Reda Belayane links which are
Yeah.
intensified for because from Hellas Verona. Those are more intense right now because
Even
that
Cassidy
talk about
wala
him,
links.
I really like him, and I really thought Milan will go for him.
yeah.
Again, another player will slip out. But again, I would like to say Param and DJ and Kostu, I don't think any transfer made sense for Lazio. I think Lazio did not make sense to us at the start
Exactly.
also. Like, what are they going to do with it? Again, they're just getting someone because again they're going to be in all competitions with Pedro's age also. So I'm guessing it's just a good temporary, temporarily sealing something. So I think it might just be work out for them. There's nothing to lose. One thing is I think Lazio has nothing to lose in this deal.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
one thing
Yeah.
again, because you said ki we all thought in the summer they might not have made the best innings. Ki ek to we have to remember the coach is now Baroni, who can get better things out of these younger players. So again, you never know. And Belayane, if I'm not wrong, Kosto, he did coach. He was coached by Baroni for that short period. Na? So yeah, I mean, this makes more
And plus,
sense.
I think even when Dele Bashiru joined, or I guess when Lom Chuna joined, we had doubts. They've done well. Even Noslin has done well. So it's even if they finish sixth, Lazio with spending jitna bhi unhone kara hai, they would be happy enough. They don't. They will be very overjoyed with the top four. But even if they finish sixth, they would be happy with the return they're getting on how much ever they've spent. So financially, it makes sense for a club run by a politician.
Correct.
Makes a lot of sense. And I think when they were about to sign Dele Bashiru, I think the Lazio outlet said that they're trying to be like Atalanta in the sense that they'll sign these lesser known talents and then probably sell them on for a higher fee. I don't know how that will operate because the template is different, because Atlanta are a different context tactically speaking. The Lazio are a different tactical context. So it's different, but जैसा अभी बोला कि Baroni is someone who's getting more out of those younger players than maybe another manager can. So that will raise their value, and that is only going to help the club. How they use that money which they receive is a different matter.
And we'll close.
For you one यार, अरुण ने बहुत अच्छा नाम ले लिया है, boss. You remember this? Raven Morris got the next United star. क्या हुआ? Kaustu, what happened? Dude, I was in the hype train. I'll not disagree. I was also on
I think everyone was, since he was really well documented across.
And who's that Italian guy?
He has a really sad story as well, by the way. It's not like happy wala downfall. It's like a very sad story. The background, the way someone's been brought up doesn't really leave you, sort of thing. Because some say that when he was 17 or 18, he used to random people from the street used to drop him from training. That's how bad his family situation was. Like he used to turn up to training on random these lorries or something. Random cars would drop him because he got into a lot of that those street gangs. Because Manchester is like thoda infamous for your these teenage thugs wale gangs. So he got into all of that very young age, or family situation was not great. So it's a lot of it is that a bit sad.
Makeda.
Also, man, my God. Did he score the derby or something very important goal he had scored?
Villa against Villa.
Makeda to bhai,
Makeda, what a goal that was! I remember, it's really nice.
And he has mentioned that Abhi he had given an interview saying that he wants to end his career at Lazio. By the way, 2 days ago, he gave an interview to Gazzetta
God.
because he's a Lazio fan from
Yeah,
ever
he was
since he was a
Lazio
kid.
fan. But back then, seeing a Italian at United, I was very happy. I was very happy to see
Yeah.
one Italian over there. I really thought it'd be up for big things, but that's how it works.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry,
Yeah.
Parambas, I just read Morrison. I was like, boss, this is like
Yeah,
proper
no problem. नहीं, it was good. It was good down that memory lane because Ravel Morrison का वो hype जो था भाई, वो अलग था. And
But
yeah, so
there
I
was
did
a
check. हाँ बोल.
sorry, I was doing I think FM15 में FM15 में I was managing Lazio. I thought let us win them the league or something. So I had Ravel Morrison there. Ravel Morrison was such a problem in that save. I kept him for 3 seasons, did not play him one game. Every 2 months he used to ask for a transfer and he would spread this virus in the dressing room कि everyone's against me वाला जो concept होता है. So the FM history in my time playing FM, the most problematic player I've managed as a manager.
I love it. I love it how we gamers find this dunya so real. It's amazing how we talk like we were actually the manager of Lazio. Huh, DJ?
Yeah.
It sounds like Costo was actually the manager of Lazio and he found it very hard to deal
Yeah.
with it.
160 contract.
Let's we'll get to the so कैसे करेंगे. I know we have a lot of transfer news to touch on, but obviously सब तो नहीं कह सकते. We'll keep discussing these maybe in some other videos as well. Let's get to the weekend games, but one comment I want to take from
Before that, shed some light, guys, on Danso. I saw a little bit in the Euros, but I haven't really watched him at Lens.
So again, he is right, Pedula. I just checked. Pedula has reported this that you have made contacts, but he also has offers from Turkey. If you remember, he was on the verge of a move to AS Roma this summer, but वो medical checkups में उसका heart का कुछ irregularity आ गया था, so they had to cancel the move. And Danso was very disappointed with Roma because he felt the medical checkups were not done properly. But eventually there was some issue, but he's bounced back very well from that. Like, I personally actually was not the biggest Danso fan because he was a very reckless defender. He's a very solid defender. Like, he is towering. He's not a ball playing defender, I would say, but towering player hai. He's good in the air and all that. But he always had that reckless tackle or two in him. Like, he would always, if he was in a 1v1, he would make certain reckless tackles, or if there was too much space around him, he would be very reckless in getting stuck into a tackle. So I was not the biggest fan, but he's bounced back well from that heart issue or whatever issue was diagnosed in him. Maybe that has motivated him. So I can definitely see it at least being a pretty decent signing for you. I just wish, then it'll be a task on Mota to basically make sure he does not have to do a lot of the ball playing and all that kind of stuff. So I think can be a useful signing. Let's see now where this goes. But yeah, I won't be surprised if
How
this
much are
goes.
they spending? How much are they bidding for him?
Figures नहीं आया अभी तक कोई. No figures,
Boss,
just
but-
that.
But again, guys, I think it will be again a loan plus option sort of situation. If they play it smart, just to see how he settles in. Also, I don't know if we should anticipate a Patrick Schick kind of situation in the medical. If you guys remember what happened.
That is an issue that you need to be careful. But yeah, let's close this. I don't think there is
Also,
any
before
other.
we close this, I would love to say, dude, I saw Como play, and boss, Asan Diao is the real thing.
Sandia, Kakere, both new signings on the assistant score
Kakere,
sheet.
I'm a big fan. परम ने थोड़ा मेरा भ्रम तोड़ दिया, बोला कि he's not consistent, but मैंने जितना देखा he's amazing. Asan Diao, DJ, such a young kid, probably 18 or 19. He played against Milan, his first regular start, full start. DJ, he was like he's been playing, and he played on the Theo side. So not that he was playing any alto-falto defender. He was at home. DJ was such a breath of fresh air, seeing someone play so freely. It was amazing to see what Cess is doing at Como right now, by the way.
I think all of us called it. Yeah, I think they were going to be an interesting project from the get-go. So
look,
but a lot of that is down, guys, to the way Cesc is managing the players. A lot of it, like one thing is your natural talent, and the rate at which you develop also comes down to how you're managed.
Yeah, of course. Like
how you're allowed to express your game.
Yeah, that look, with Como, I would say, as I said a while ago, that there's a long way to go. This is a club that needs to first improve its foundations in terms of its infrastructure and all that, which they're working on. And धीरे धीरे हो रहा है. Finally, they have an owner at least that has money. Technically, the richest owner in the league, so they have that money in case something goes wrong. पहले time की तरह नहीं है, so at least that is there. Now, धीरे धीरे करके, as you said, they need to improve the squad because we saw they have made tons of signings already. They signed Diao, they signed Kakere, if I'm not wrong. Let me
They signed
quickly.
one more player.
Yeah, they've signed a couple more, if I'm not wrong. एक तो they signed Butes, that goalkeeper from the Belgian.
Butes.
Yeah,
Butes.
Belgian Pro League, right? So like again, because their goalkeeping situation was quite bad, Pepe Reina and Emil Odero, those are not good goalkeepers, by the way. Both of them are very average. This version of Pepe Reina is like below average, obviously.
Yeah.
Matlab, it's just horrible. So they had to sign a goalkeeper. So yeah, Kakere Diao, Dosena was to summer May. I think it's going by the fee here. Let me filter
But
it by
whatever
winter.
it is, Param, what I like is they are buying players they need. So they
Yeah,
are buying
makes
risky
sense.
players. So they are following a particular blueprint
Yeah,
which they
yeah.
have in mind, which is very good to see.
Chindan, where they've already spent more than your and my club, technically speaking.
25 million, they already
20,
spent more.
exactly 27 million, 29 million. So spend more than our club. But yeah, I feel these are sensible signings. As you said, the areas they needed to address, like
Yeah.
midfield, like wing pay,
Thank God
goalkeeper.
for getting over the Pepe Reina and Dosena signings. I read somewhere they were linked with Matic. Thank God, भाई ये सब नहीं चाहिए उन लोग को. They need young blood like this. The Matic कुछ नहीं करेगा यार.
Yeah. So let me take a few comments. Let's get to the predictions and let's close with comments. We're not ignoring your comments. Inter to sign Castro and Nico Paz June before transfer because of FIFA has allowed exceptional approval for sale. वो
अरुण
10 दिन में 2 प्लेयर कहाँ से साइन करेगा और इतना आई मीन आई नो दैट्स दैट
अरुण
एक्सेप्शनल
को सब एक ही साल में जीतना है.
चाहिए भाई पैसा पैसा है नहीं ना उतना कॉल मी क्रेजी बट मैं वो हकान इज द बेस्ट टर्किश प्लेयर ऑफ ऑल टाइम अरे बाप रे इतना बड़ा फैन
Yildiz, boys, Yildiz.
I don't know if you all remember Ravel. Sorry, we have wasted 15 million. I won't call it waste. You have to invest in a goalkeeper at some point. Filip Stankovic, obviously the son of Dejan Stankovic, is doing very well for Venezia. If you watch him play in goal, must saves karta hai, but still he has a long way to go. It's very easy to say in hindsight this player is doing well in the league XYZ, but there is a long way to go. I still feel the 15 million or 13 million, that is to be precise, spent on Joseph was not a waste. Yeah, it is true. It might happen most likely. ऐसा लग रहा है. Kostub, I don't know if he's going to return. शायद उसका लगता है मेरे को charge run out हो गया because usually when he replies, usually he does not leave a stream halfway. Yeah, I think Kostub के लिए मैं बाद के लिए बचा था. I've taken a screenshot, Ravindra, so don't mind. This is another comment. Just wanted to say I really love the work you are doing. While I'm not a regular Serie watcher, on another note, what do you think Rafael's price could be in the summer? Very briefly, Chintan, if you want to answer this.
Same. I unfortunately I think 70 to 100 million. I think we won't sell below that.
Fair
And
enough.
I would like to brag a little bit over here. Milan, a bigger brand name, so I guess we will charge that extra premium for Liam.
Of course, yeah. Berardi. So interesting. One thing about Berardi was that Berardi actually has been pushing to leave in January, Sassuolo, because obviously they're in the Serie B. Yeah, but this time because of the Serie B factor, and he started doing well since his major injury return.
Very well.
But obviously Sassuolo won big money still. So, and he was linked with Atalanta more than anyone. So I don't think it's happening, but I would be interested to see कि ये जाएगा किधर eventually, because as you said, सालों से this guy's been trying to leave and he's ended up nowhere. Where does he actually go? Remains to be seen.
Yeah.
Sule, this is an interesting shout because he's not worked out at Roma. He suggested for Napoli because the potential is there, but will Conte be able to? I don't know. Will he? I don't know if Sule is the.
Conte and young players don't work very well, so.
Yeah, for the most part, at least. So I think we can get to
Conte is not building a project, guys. He's a 2 to 3 season Mourinho style. Come in, you need to win right now, and then you exit when you win.
Yeah. Try Sule square replacement. Again, I don't know what game you saw otherwise yesterday. If you think Lautaro is finished, we literally saw the proper version of Lautaro yesterday. Yeah, he is top 3. I agree. Currently, Nico Paz is doing very well. Matlab, the other day he avoided a horror injury. He was going to get injured badly against Lazio, but luckily he isn't. Let's get to the predictions though, guys. I'll just pull it up on FootMob
Yeah, but
because we're
Param, Param, I think before to prediction निकाल, तब तक I want to ask DJ यार, बेचारा he's been here after a while, भरा पड़ा हुआ है. DJ man, have you ever seen this ever before being a Juventus fan?
I
13
don't think
draws,
any football fan of any club has seen this before, let alone Juventus. This is
20 games,
unprecedented.
13
What a
draws.
straight season.
Yeah, it is unbelievable. And my question to you is, what happens in the last 30 minutes? This is like the story of the season. I think Juventus play for 70 minutes. Something happens in the last 30 minutes and they switch off. This has to be addressed, yeah.
It's not that, Chins. It's actually a double-fold thing. One is Mota was not set on his players when he was starting off. He would continue rotating. So what happened was, and then injuries started mounting up. So then the players who were playing continually were not gelled enough. That's one. Now those players are overloaded. The fatigue begins to show. So injuries are cropping up. The second thing is, since it's not 70 minutes, the
Yeah.
issue is they're amazing till they score.
Yeah.
It's not the
Yeah.
time duration. Like you saw what happened in the Super. I thought they dominated that game for 70 minutes.
Yeah.
Like they had Milan on the mat, where and then the way they imploded, it's just
Stumbled.
I feel like some of this 60% of this problem is psychological, and I think 40% is the way Mota is managing the game inside the game. His in-game management is very poor. Like
Yeah.
what happened against Atlanta, I don't know why Thuram came off. They scored 3 minutes after that guy's defensive work rate. I mean, and you're putting Luis in. I know the idea is that you want to keep the team forward and not fall back, but take Locka off because you need Thuram's work rate in defense.
Yeah.
The goal came 3 minutes in. It's and Cambiaso just coming off the injury, still not his best defensively. He's becoming a little error prone, which I'm a little worried about, which is also why the 65 million, has a certain context. But I think like 60% of this problem is psychological. We are also missing guys. We are very hard on them. We are also missing experience in the dressing room here. These guys are
I
the
think
youngest team in the league. Like, let's give them a little breathing room. Let's give Mota till the end of the season.
but
I hate
these
this conversation about people are like, sack him now, sack him. What are you going to achieve by sacking him now?
It's
a
not
funny
about
comment.
sacking, but DJ, my question is, do you think at clubs like Milan, Juve, and Inter, uh, patience is something which is of a, you can call it it's not given, like, because you can't be patient here. Unfortunately, however it is, Fonseca was sacked, and you think sometimes Motta and at times like Inzaghi overdoes it with the substitutions. Sometimes it's not needed. I've observed Inzaghi also doing it when it's not needed, especially the first derby. Those substitutions were not needed. I understand the bigger picture, but you remove two of your best midfielders at the same time, which imbalanced the game. Milan won the game. I don't know why was he sub. Why did he sub Barella off? Milan scored a winner. So with Motta too, do you think they some managers overthink with these substitutions? Too tactical.
I think very tactical and also overcomplicated, right? Because anyways,
Yeah.
idea of football philosophy, that total football, right, is there is no player with a fixed position on the pitch. Look at 5 players playing out of position, boss. There is no reference point, and somewhere you need to start building those patterns so players start understanding their positions on the pitch, right? And then combine that with an injury overload. It just is not a good fit, I think. But that said, Mota is setting up games very well. He's reading the opposition well. I think they did a fabulous job against Atlanta. Very unlucky not to come away with the points again. So it's just a moment. I think we just have to tide over it. We need a little patience. I understand everyone has this big expectation where Juventus and all of that, but the game has changed. The league has changed. The Juventus of old is not the Juventus of new, and we have to accept and we have to come to terms with that.
True,
What a
true.
And
comment is this?
the climate of football has changed. Yeah, I don't know why we are not able to accept that. Like, we're trying to start something new that is not going to be any different for any club. Whether you're Bayern Munich, whether you're Real Madrid, whether you're Juventus, it doesn't change. If you're going to have the youngest team in the league, this kind of stuff is going to happen. So somewhere I think the players have to take responsibility. Mota, definitely. I still cannot for the life of me, if sitting here, Calcio Charcha can understand Coop Miners is being played in a position that does not suit the team optimally, and continually he continues with that, is like, I can't fathom like what the understanding is. Coop Miners is an intelligent player. I wouldn't go so far as saying he's a flop. The flop context is only because we spent 60 million on him. But we signed him for Mota, and the way Mota is using him is where Mota is mistaken. He doesn't work where he's being played, and he's eating into Yildiz's space. Why?
Wow. Param, DJ में बोला DJ भरा पड़ा है. I think it's all pumped up. But I just hope this entire rebuilding starts from Monday, because we have a very important game against Milan coming up this week. We can all try these new things after Monday. Milan just need a win right now, so it's a great time where Param, in my lifetime, probably the first time I can say it in my lifetime as a Milan fan.
And Juve.
Yeah, Milan have had an upper hand on Juve for past, at least since the COVID times. The record is phenomenal against Juventus, which is very rare. And by the way, just to tell you another tidbit is, now Milan are now the team which has beaten Juve the most number of times amongst all the other teams. Fair enough, probably. And in last 13 games or something, we have lost to Juve twice. So it's great time to be playing them. But I'm worried this is very contagious, because if Juventus are drawing, that means Milan are going to draw the same game now. So it is very contagious. I think both the teams need that win. Milan have to catch up with Juve, and Juve have to run away. So what a match coming up. Tu pull up karna.
Yeah, before we get to that, one more transfer news ki Doilofio, who was actually good for Udinese, it seems like उसका contract terminate हो रहा है because of his major injury issues. Seems like that won't be continuing. I would have been interested to see a fit Doilofio with Alexis Sanchez, Lorenzo, Luca, and Thauvin. That would have actually.
I love Doilofio. What a player! What a player! When he was at Milan, he killed it. Like, he was absolutely terror. Milan, one of the Milan's biggest mistake is we should have kept him.
Yeah, and this is because I really would have liked to see a fit version and a quartet of that as an option to start and rotate would have been dangerous, because Udinese already अच्छा कर रहा है league में. So actually this is quite this thing. And I think, just to close with last, finally there is some movement from us in the market, because like you guys, Chintan bhai, we are also not really going to sign anyone. But seems like we are going to sign Petar Sucic from Dinamo Zagreb and leave him on loan for the end of the season. Seems like it, not confirmed. I can clearly see him being like one of the, I don't know about a Frattesi replacement, maybe, because I don't think we'll sign anyone high profile to replace Frattesi. Let's see though, but ऐसा लग रहा है ये आ जाएगा. But apart from that, I'll just pull up the predictions. I've kept it open. Yogesh is back for that. Yogesh, I think we have obviously Milan. So Roma Genoa se started. Obviously, these were the recent cover-up games which we had. Como, Milan, Atalanta, Juve, and Inter Bologna. But we start with Roma Genoa, guys. Simply predictions. Again, in the comments, I want people to predict with the team names. So, you say Roma 1, Genoa 1, whatever. Chindan bhai, kya lag raha hai?
Wow, man, Genoa. I love this new Genoa with Patrick Vieira. But I'll go with a Roma 2-1 victory.
Yeah, Roma 2-1.
Guys, I'll tell you one thing. This Genoa is not easy to break up.
It's very not difficult. Easy to break down. Yeah.
And Roma were very not lucky to get a draw. Last minute penalty. It was a fair result. But I think this Roma wouldn't be difficult to break. But I'll go with a 2-1 Roma win.
Yogesh?
I'm expecting Roma to win this one, but not with a clean sheet. So a scoreline like 2-1 or 3-1.
I will go for like a 3-2 Roma win. Actually, no, 2-1 is fine because I don't see Genoa scoring 2. क्या बोलते हो DJ भाई?
Guys, I agree with Chintz about Genoa being hard to break down, but I think Roma are going to go on a little bit of a run. I would go with 2-0 Roma.
Fair enough. We have an interesting game, Bologna-Monza next, because Monza ने obviously एक random win निकाल दिया है, but still the injury list is long. It's not that simple for them. They did beat Fiorentina, to be fair, Bologna's eternal rivals, and Bologna on the other hand obviously true to us yesterday, or मतलब have lesser of a rest than Monza. क्या लगता है चिंतन में आपको? I still feel personally Bologna will win like maybe not 1-0, but maybe 2-1 or something again. क्या बोलते हो?
I'm going to go for a draw over here. I
Draw.
think Monza always sort of difficult to break. I think Viola was an off result, but I don't rate Monza that much. Param, I know you predicted this surprise Monza victory over Fiorentina. I think this might be a draw. Bologna, I think they were lucky against Inter. There were two deflection goals, yeah. Shouldn't have been 2-2. So I think plus fatigue because Monza have got a 1 week break. Bologna didn't. So and plus I think Bologna are going to be playing the week after that also for the Champions League.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
so I think it'll be a 1-1 draw.
क्या बोलते हो डीजे भाई?
Bologna win 2-0.
And yeah, obviously because the following fixture, Yogesh, sorry, तेरा बता दे, then I'll take that.
Bologna 1-0.
1-0 because this again Bologna और Milan में ज़्यादा points difference है नहीं, and the next game obviously doesn't go Milan's way. Bologna can leapfrog them for the time being at least. Obviously it's Chintan Bhai versus DJ Bhai again, like after the Super Copa, third time this season. क्या लगता है इस time? Because obviously the Serie game is where our first meetup happened and it was quite drab. I'll come to the comments ka predictions after this one. Again, keep bringing in your predictions, and the Super Copa game was far more interesting, obviously, even as a neutral. क्या लगता है योगेश क्या होगा before I go to the two people concerned with this game?
I'm expecting Milan to win this one here because Juventus have been like, I know they are unbeaten in the league, but they're drawing way too many games, and Milan already defeated them. So and with the Conceição resurgence that is going on, I think Milan are going to win this match. I don't think so. This match is going to be another draw. We'll get a result either. We'll get a result. So I'm expecting to win
Hello?
this one.
That would be UA's first Serie A loss. I feel this will end as a draw. मुझे लग रहा है फिर से draw होगा. क्या बोलते हो डीजे भाई?
Yeah, Param, I feel that if we remember what actually Chintan had said, since COVID, Milan's emergence against Juventus. If you guys remember that game, I don't remember. It was a Sarri managed Juve, and I think we were leading. Ibra was on the field also.
Yeah.
And I think Milan turned that score around, if I'm not mistaken. Was that a 4-2?
2-0 to 4-2.
And it helped their resurgence in many ways. Pioli's actually job was on the line coming into that game.
Yes.
And if I remember correctly, and Rabiot had a couple of good misses also, I remember vividly. I feel like in many ways that cycle will reverse this time. I think it's going to be that kind of game. I feel Milan will start strong, and I think Juve might have the luck of the. We're playing in the Allianz, no?
Yeah.
We're playing in Turin. I think Juve will have the luck of the draw. Something has to give. I don't see this as a draw. I agree with Yogesh. It's going to be either team winning. But if I have to go with the prediction, I think it will be a 2-1. Juve can't keep a clean sheet. A 2-1 Juve win. A reversal of the Super Cup.
Yeah, fair enough. Chintan भाई क्या बोलते हो?
Yeah, I think there'll be a draw. I don't know. Allianz again, we've had a good result, but again, I'm also dreading this. That how long can Conceição make this comeback? Milan have to start strong. If Milan don't start strong, eventually they will give in. And I think Conceição, I won't be surprised if we lose also because Conceição is still getting to know the team. Juventus will be the 70 minutes were first half was dreadful for you Milan in the Super Copa. We just hung in there, so I think Milan might just hang in there for a while and just go for counter. So I hope it's a draw 1-1, but I think we'll lose. But again, I feel Juventus and Inter, when we play big teams, Milan do show up a lot.
Yeah.
So I'll go with a 1-1 draw here.
Fair enough.
I think the reason why I'm feeling a Juve win is because I feel Milan will score first. And then when Juve have to chase the game, they're a different team as against when they have to defend the game.
Fair enough. Just seeing the comments, Arun says 2-1 to Genoa against Roma. Udbhav says 2-0 to Roma. Arun says 3-1 Bologna Monza. Ravi says Orsolini, my man, will get a hat trick. Arun says UA 2 to Milan. UA scores too early, and then Sergio specifically asks Milan to stop playing shit and score 2 to equalize. Mir says nil, guys, come on. Ravi Joshi says, I already said for UA will get 4 draws, 2 done, 2 left. They're drawing the next one too. Krish, the in-house Genoa fan, before I just, because I always have to, it's a tradition. We have to pull up his comment to see his profile picture, and I love the commitment. I don't know if he changes it back to a Genoa picture, but it's good to see he's committed to Genoa. So yeah, he says 1-0 to Genoa against Roma. Naman says UA 1-1 Milan. Chintan Bhai will return. Tab tak I'll take the other predictions. We have another big game, obviously, Yogesh. Atalanta versus Napoli. मतलब इधर तो भाई मेरे लिए तो मजे है, because if we beat Empoli later, which we'll come to, भाई मतलब here तो we can overtake, we can do, तो भाई इधर तो मुझे तो personally draw चाहिए, but as we always tell you, this is not about what we want, this is about a proper prediction. I don't know. I feel Napoli either edges this or it's a draw. क्या बोलते हो डीजे भाई?
Param, momentarily, can you just pull up the table, please, before I give my prediction on this?
Sure. So this is the table. Obviously, we drew yesterday. We still have a game in hand. We had 2 games in hand. So if we win and Napoli, like if we were to win, we still have the same points as Napoli. But then obviously, tomorrow's game is basically, this is how it's all lined up.
Napoli edging this one.
Yeah, fair enough. क्या बोलते हो चिंतन में? I think it's either Napoli edge or a draw. क्या बोलते हो?
Yeah, Napoli 1-1 or 1-1. Yeah.
I feel Napoli are going to shit their way through this game also and draw it like typical Conte style.
बोलो. I have something to say.
I think Napoli winning this because I think Atalanta are little bit थोड़ा panic भी हो जाएंगे अभी. If they draw or lose this game, they'll go in that panic mode also, I feel. But I feel Napoli, Atalanta playing very well, and a mark of a good manager or a team would be, even if you're playing badly, you end up winning. And I think Napoli might just do that. They've done that this season, so it might work for them. So I think I'll go with a Napoli win.
Fair enough. The funny thing is, आपने बोला Conte get scraping a win through. Even Atalanta have had some of that luck with the games they drew recently. They could have lost. So ये मजे आएगा. योगेश, तेरा prediction तो देता, but दोनों टीम का नसीब फैक्टर जो है, ये अभी इधर मुझे वो नसीब ओवरलोड चाहिए कि want to see who gets more lucky. किसको, मेरे को हैंडबॉल ओवरलोड चाहिए इधर who gets lucky with all the handball decisions. Then I want to see Gasperini and Conte both cry at the end of this. This is my demand, and then I hope it ends. हाँ?
मैच के डिस्क्रिप्शन में जाना who all are injured.
हाँ बोलता हूँ, रुक. अभी के लिए तो फिलहाल ये न्यूज़ है. Scamacca is out. Yes, I saw Cuadrado still there looking to return for this game. I mean, Scamacca का I don't think Kolasinac is suspended थे. तुम लोग का तो obviously Kvaratskhelia तो ट्रांसफर हो गया, ये तो है. Buongiorno is still not back, and Kosuno, क्या बोलता है, तेरे को क्या लगता है?
यार ये Napoli is entering a difficult run of patches. Like इसके बाद में Juventus का गेम है, and after that Roma का गेम है, and after that Udinese.
Yeah, you guys have a tough schedule. You guys have a very tough schedule.
And Kvara का ये जो पूरा सागा चालू है, तो I just hope that does not affect the on-field performance. Like Hellas Verona against the transfer did not affect that much, and the team performed very well that day. So I'm just hoping that the team continues to focus on things on pitch, and I'm seeing this as a draw. Yeah, like I'm seeing a 1-1 or 2-2 kind of draw happening in this match, because especially Atlanta would like they have been dropping points since coming back from Saudi Arabia, so they'll be out to take out points. And in the first leg in the match at these Maradona, they defeated us very handsomely, so I'm expecting that this game is going to be a draw.
Fair enough. Let's go through quickly to the next ones. Fiorentina Torino, I think this ends as a draw. थोड़ा Fiorentina का ओवर परफॉर्मेंस थोड़ा भी दिख रहा है चिंतन भाई. मतलब जो प्लेयर्स ओवर परफॉर्म कर रहे थे, Moise Kean, डेया आई थिंक थोड़ा वो अभी बैलेंस आउट होगा, तो थोड़ा ये पीरियड थोड़ा मे बी फॉर द नेक्स्ट फ्यू वीक्स आई सी देम स्ट्रगलिंग. आई सी दिस एज अ ड्रॉ बिकॉज टोरिनो सडनली आर पिकिंग अप, व्हिच इज गुड टू सी. व्लासिच का गोल बाय द वे इन द डार्बी वाज इनसेन. मतलब
Amazing,
दैट वाज
insane
क्वाइट.
goal.
या क्या बोलते हो चंदन भाई, क्या होगा?
Yeah, same. I think Fiorentina are now law of averages catching up.
हम्म.
Not that much with Lazio, but you see Lazio, Torino are kind of slipping away. Atlanta losing points. So, law of averages do catch up at times, and I feel Fiorentina were way overperforming way more than what they were supposed to do.
Yeah.
They got some lucky wins. But yeah, I like Torino. Yeah, Torino, although the derby isn't really a good way to judge any team because emotions are involved, but they're solid. So I won't be surprised if Torino win this one.
Fair enough. Yogesh,
Which game?
Fiorentina Torino. ऑर्डर में ही तो है.
अच्छा, पार्मा वेनेजिया हाईलाइटेड, मुझे लगा वो बोल रहे.
अबे हाईलाइट उसका मतलब थोड़ी वही डिस्कस कर रहे. बोल.
Yeah, I think Fiorentina will win this. Yeah, 1-0 or 2-0 kind of score.
Fair enough. क्या बोलते हो डीजे भाई? I personally, as I said, I don't see Fiorentina bouncing back एकदम से.
Yeah, Param, I want them to lose, but I think it's going to be a 1-1.
Fair enough. Cagliari Lecce, because I did this. This is actually because I'm loving the relegation battle in Serie. To be fair, ना मुझे मजा आ रहा है देख के. Because Lecce thrashed Empoli, and you remember that time Chintan where Empoli was flying high, and now they're
Yeah,
close to the
Roma को
relegation.
हरा के.
Yeah, and now they're close to the relegation zone, and whereas Cagliari held you guys again
Yeah,
twice. So this is
it's funny.
actually, yeah, this is actually a very interesting game. You have two teams literally doing anything to stay above the relegation zone. Cagliari is trying really hard, but they're still there. Lecce is still clear, at least whatever it is, even if it's 2 points. क्या बोलते हो? क्या लगता है आपको इसमें?
यार it's भाई लेचे बहुत funny team है यार. They
हाँ.
overperform at times and they get thrashed again. And Lecce and Hellas Verona are the two teams which totally surprise you at times. It's very
Yeah.
surprising. So yeah, I don't know, man. I feel Lecce will win this because Cagliari will go for the win too, playing at home. I won't be surprised if Lecce also win this. So I'm going with the Lecce win. यार. Anyways, तेरे को तो मेरा Lecce bias पता है. Now तो
मेरे को
Gianpaolo.
हाँ, exactly. आपका तो उधर दो legends बैठे हैं. I personally like the Lecce team, but I feel it's very hard to play in Sardinia. मतलब it is
Yeah,
a
it's very
very
hard.
difficult place.
Always.
Yeah, it is a very मतलब you can feel that atmosphere. I mean, aside from the racism and all that constantly goes on, obviously, which is unfortunate. Draw लग रहा है मुझे high scoring. क्या बोलता है योगेश?
Yeah, even I think it's going to be a draw. Yeah.
योगेश वो कमेंट हटा सकते हैं. डीजे भाई का पूरा चेहरा कवर हो गया इस पे. मतलब if you can hide that. If you can hide it, someone can, because मैं इधर इस पे एक मिनट, because I can't see डीजे भाई at all. हाँ, डीजे भाई क्या बोलते हो इसके बारे में? Cagliari Lecce.
Yeah, I don't agree with Chins here. I'll go with the Cagliari win.
Wow, interesting. Yeah, this game I can literally, as you said, I can see it going either way because Cagliari.
It's going to be a very temperamental, heated fixture also.
Yeah.
I think it'll be a hard fought but thrilling 2-1 Cagliari win.
Fair enough. Because Cagliari, again, not an easy team to play. Parma, Venezia, again, we've discussed Parma a lot and थोड़ा underwhelming तो रहा है Parma. They did lose one of their players, Voyo Koulibaly, to Leicester City recently. Yeah. And look at that injury list. My God. That is pretty much what has affected their season. Barring Charpentier, all the players were important. Like Bernabe, of course, Sarkati ACL, Kowalski ACL. It's terrible, and obviously that has affected. And funnily, on the other hand, you can see Venezia still fighting Chintan Bhai, but still not getting the results. Thanks to one man and one man only. क्या बोलते हो उधर क्या होगा?
Gosh, this is probably the most toughest game to predict this season. This game week, I don't know, man. I might be biased towards Parma. I want Parma to survive this, but yeah, I think I'll go with Parma win. Just purely emotional context, where no logic involved. Parma win.
Yogesh?
I'm expecting Parma to win this year. Venezia have been more bad than Parma this season, so that's why.
DJ भाई क्या बोलते हो?
I think love all draw, guys.
Fair enough.
In attack.
So according to DJ, this is that fixture of the week.
I think Venezia will do what they do. Recently, मैं एक चीज तो बोलूंगा, as much as I don't like Di Francesco, Venezia have actually been playing well on the pitch, but you can see that Di Francesco factor in them where they can't get the result, even a draw or a win, जैसे चिंतन मैम बोलते हैं उसके बारे में. And I feel they will give Parma their confidence back, just like they gave Bologna their confidence back, if you remember.
Yeah.
Bologna was playing shit or average, and then when they played Venezia and they got their confidence back, and then they found this form. So I think this is exactly what is happening here. Venezia are specialists under Di Francesco at giving confidence to others. So I think that is what is happening here. This fixture, मतलब मुसोलिनी डार्बी जो याद है अगर जब पहली बार आया था
Boss,
both were on top.
yeah, I love the comment. This one.
Yeah.
Uh,
कौन सा वाला?
this is
एक मिनट,
perfect.
I can't see it. Wait.
Oh wow, it's Hellas versus Lazio. What a time, especially when Lolito said the uploading
Yeah,
pics is bigger crime than the fascist salute. And this
Yeah,
can't get
actually, it's the funniest thing you can say given when your own club is. Let's not get there, but I remember the first time this happened this season, both were in the top four, and it was the
top two.
memes were going.
Param, they were top
Top
two because
two.
Hellas
Top
had
two.
beaten Napoli. So they were 1 and 2.
Yeah, yeah, top two था. I remember now. याद है योगेश 3-0 वाला. Top two पे थे, and you could see the pictures of course, you know who. But let's
Yeah.
start with you, Chintan bhai. क्या लगता है? Because Lazio are still now again in that bounce back phase, and Hellas Verona का आज official हुआ takeover, American
Yeah.
group and all that. I don't know. I still see Lazio winning. क्या बोलते हो?
Yeah. I think Lazio will pick up now. I think Lazio are a decent team. They're well managed team. So I don't see Lazio. इंटर के बाद सबको लगा इतना बड़ा लॉस, they'll crumble. But they've stood their ground, yeah. They lost a derby also. I won't be surprised if Lazio win this. I'll go with a 2-0 Lazio win.
Fair enough. DJ bhai?
2-1 Lazio.
क्या बोलता है योगेश?
Yeah, agree with DJ by 2-1 Lazio.
Yeah, okay. I think we all agree with that because Lazio, matlab, yeah, I think Hellas Verona still have a lot to prove. And last one we have Inter Empoli. योगेश क्या बोलता है?
2-2 draw.
Not what you want, what you think is happening. Obviously, we still have a big injury list. You can add Frattesi to this because he's just gotten injured today or after yesterday's game. So injury list continues for us, and Acerbi is still out. I mean, that is not updated here. So yeah, Acerbi is also out. क्या बोलता है?
Yeah,
Draw.
I just hope Inter win everything in Champions League and just keep on dropping points in Serie.
वो तो भाई वो मिलेंगे हेड टू हेड तब दिखा देंगे कौन ड्रॉप करता है पॉइंट्स. वी विल शो यू.
देख
वो
अभी
अलग
तक
बात
परम रिजल्ट नहीं बोल रहा है.
हाँ, रिजल्ट ही बोल रहा है. ही इज टेलिंग अस व्हाट ही वांट्स टू हैपन. ऐसे तो आई वांट इंटर टू विन द क्वाड्रुपल ना, टेक्निकली स्पीकिंग. तो भाई चिंतन भाई क्या बोलते हो?
As you said यार, एम्पोली का जो डाउनवर्ड है, and I think Inter will always get that one fixture where they will remove the frustration. San Siro, I expect a decent scoreline over here, and I expect Lautaro to continue his goal scoring form. Champions League coming up. Inter are playing the next week Champions League के उसके बाद वाला.
Yeah, मतलब if I'm
Milan are
not
playing
wrong,
next week. Milan are playing on the next week. So I think Inter might just wind it up by halftime and sub off the players. So I'll go with a 2-0 Inter.
Interesting.
I don't
DJ
see
वैसा
Inter.
you would. Yeah, DJ भाई आप बताओ.
Param, yeah, normal service resumes. True love Inter.
Like I do think we'll win, but matlab without Hakan, the drop off I see in midfield. If Aslani can't play well in this game, then again, I mean it's not like we can kick him out in January, summer mein hi hoga. But if he can't play well, then in this game I would have no words. And I still feel Empoli is tricky, but I'll go for like a 2-1 Inter win. I still feel with the absentees, the drop off is there, and with Champions League in mind and everything, I don't think it'll be an easy ride. I just want to share one last thing because I just saw कि Kvaratskhelia has officially announced his farewell, so that Yogesh can have a one last look at Kvaratskhelia. ये रहा योगेश. मैं वीडियो तो शेयर नहीं करूंगा, कॉपीराइट नहीं लगने नहीं देना चाहता, बट दिस इज प्रीटी मच इट. आई एम नॉट प्लेइंग एनीथिंग. ये जस्ट मे बी 5-10 सेकंड दिखाऊंगा मैं इसके. ये देख भाई योगेश, मतलब इससे तो 5 मिनट का ये बार बार क्यों घूम रहा है भाई उल्टा? ये क्या नया स्टाइल इसने किया है? ये क्या? हेलो, इट्स हार्ड फॉर मी बट इट्स टाइम टू से गुड नाइट. स्पेंड एन अमेजिंग टाइम ये बहुत ये लग रहा है
बहुत
स्टेज।
filmy लग रहा है यार, कुछ ज्यादा कर रहा है.
Too much. So
Yeah.
I think
पीआर एजेंसी या कोई
it's
पीआर
almost
एजेंसी ने कांटेक्ट किया.
no. It's
अरे
almost
कॉन्टेक्ट मतलब he also agreed to it ना, what do you mean कॉन्टेक्ट किया
I mean,
होगा?
it's like I feel like he's fearing for his life or something.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, DJ भाई, you are the expert in all this. क्या बोलते हो? Because this looks very
Fully
staged.
this is too much, यार. बहुत extra
Yeah.
हो रहे हैं.
Yeah,
I
मतलब
think
वो
he does
turn
not
हो गया
want to
उसका.
be. He does not
बोलो
want
बोलो.
his dolls to be hanging everywhere, or he does not want to be assaulted. So I think he's just,
Yeah.
as you said, he's just doing some damage control before he goes. वो
Yeah.
Diego, अभी इंडियन होता तो शायद पाँव वाव पड़ लेता, ऐसे मैराडोना के पोस्टर के ऐसा कुछ कर लेता.
Yeah.
लेकिन
बहुत
बॉस,
extra हो रहा है यार. It's becoming fake.
ये तो कुछ
look
no,
at
look,
this.
I look, I
I get
get
his
that he loves.
sentiment. I get his
हाँ.
sentiments exactly.
Yeah.
But sometimes by saying less also you do say a lot.
Yeah,
अरे
yeah.
he can, since he can sit down and pen a note and thank everyone, no problem. इतनी films
Exactly.
क्यों बना रहे हैं धर्मा projects?
Yeah. Like DJ film भी ठीक है, I get it, this is the day and age of the, but the turn he did and the way he's talking ना, that's where he lost me more than anything.
बहुत
Like
staged.
the serious face and all, then all this, like sorry Yogesh, I know तुझे ये सब पसंद होगा, but this is not big. I don't know, get hit with copyright, but this was a bit too much for me.
Did he just?
अरे भाई ये तो भाई एक यार ये तो लेना ही नहीं है. क्या बोलता है योगेश, क्या लगा उसके बारे में?
यार कोई तो पीआर एजेंसी को हायर किया एंड
अरे
पीआर एजेंसी सब करवा रही
और
है.
वो अग्री किया ना.
अग्री
हाँ
क्या ना,
वो
मतलब
क्या है वो तो
यार योगेश ये क्या हो रहा है तेरे क्लब में भाई? मतलब सब स्टार अजीब तरीके से निकलते. लाइक भाई तुम लोग एक ना
ये
नेटफ्लिक्स
आंसर दे
सीरीज
दे, पहले ये आंसर दे दे. Why does Napoli?
नापोली.
Yeah, actually good that three. This is the third consecutive. वो
Fourth.
भी गया था.
कवानी,
पहला-
लवेजी, फैबियन रूइज, नाउ क्वारात्स्खेलिया.
या ये भाई तुम लोग बच के रहो भाई. अगला कौन है? अगला कौन है? This is worse than Interbells. If you watched Interbells, you know how bad it is. I'm pretty sure चिंतन भाई ने तो देखा होगा as a rival. I
Yeah.
don't know. But if you watched
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
that is terrible. मतलब उसके वजह से हमारा सारा सीजन खराब हो गया. But let me just quickly run through like 4-5 comments and then we are done. Fiorentina 1-0 Torino. D Francesco, please make this. देख, he lost twice to my club, so I have nothing to be
अभी
worried
तो
about.
और मैं तो अभी इंटरबेल्स बोला है तो एक बार बजा देना यार.
वो कॉपीराइट लगेगा ना इस पे, अपना चैनल
अरे
बंद हो
यार.
जाएगा. इमेजिन इंटरबेल्स शटिंग आवर चैनल वुड बी अ न्यू लो यार. कम ऑन. 1-0 Empoli, he wants 1-0 Inter, says it's not soccer. इतना पीआर तो रोहित शर्मा भी नहीं करता. Bro thinks he's Maradona. This is sorry, ये ले लिया मैंने. Just a few more comments and point deduction. Yeah, that is that one game you feel should end in a point deduction. Cagliari 2-0 Lecce, Parma 0-0 Venezia. Okay, sorry, this is done. Atalanta 2-1 says Udbhav. Napoli easy win says Mihir. Atalanta 1-1 says Arun. So I think yeah, that's it for the predictions. If you have any last comments, I'm just taking closing thoughts from the panel. And then we'll close this. Any closing thoughts, guys? Anything you want to say?
By the way,
We are
I
very
just found
close to
out-
1 point. Sorry, bolo.
I just found out the news coming. Pulisic is not fit for the Juventus game, so I will take that. I think the L is coming. The L is coming. No, Pulisic is, I think, unpopular opinion. I know Liao is a winner, but right now, consistency-wise, Pulisic is amazing. So no, Pulisic is a big loss for Milan.
Yeah, I agree. तुम लोग की भी है, तुम लोग का भी है. And just one thing before we close, Dimars is saying Yogesh should not exclude surprises as a replacement for Kvaratskhelia. So I wonder what he means.
हाँ,
But yeah,
डेफिनेटली किम मेंजे के बदले वो कहाँ से उसको ब्राजील से उठा के लेके आ गया था.
भाई इसी नोट पे तो कोरिया ही हो जाए. इसी नोट पे कोरिया ही हो जाए, मजा आ जाएगा. और क्या बोलते हो डीजे भाई? एनी क्लोजिंग थॉट्स?
Guys, I think this weekend will be very interesting because I feel like the second part of the season is kicking off in earnest, and I've got to say I feel like Juve is gonna have a good second half of the season.
Wow.
So I think it's going to be quite in contrast to the first, and a lot of people will change their minds about Thiago Motta, or as we're calling him at this moment, Thiago Trotta.
Roma, if Ajay Bhai was on the team, he would be happy because they're close to signing Davin Wrench from Ajax, which is actually a solid signing. If we'll again do a breakdown some other day. But yeah, maybe he'll finally has a reason to be happy. Chintan bhai didn't ignore you. I just don't realize. I mean, you Chintan bhai, आप ही कुछ बोलो because he's a big fan of yours. You want to say anything like?
It's
I've never
hardcore fan,
seen.
huh?
Yeah,
Hardcore.
मतलब एक तो वो भी इंटर फैन मतलब वो
Yeah.
तो अलग ही.
I have to cleanse you and get you on the right side, but no one was ignoring your comments. We have so many comments going on. Actually, it's very hard to take all the comments. But yeah, I
Yeah.
think when we have a next meet, I hope you can come and I can get to meet you personally. So
भाई तू साइड बदला तो मैं तेरे को चैनल से ही निकाल दूंगा. Just be
नहीं नहीं
aware.
मैं रखूंगा चैनल में, मैं रखूंगा चैनल में.
Yeah.
तो
Ciao Ciao guys, good stream, was able to join after long. Yeah, good to see you. The good Bob will destroy UA. Chindan bhai, you just don't know. DJ bhai, do you think Cambiaso will be sold? I think DJ bhai, very briefly, what was your objective take on this? Do you think he'll be sold?
Yeah, Swarnim, if the money is right, he definitely will be sold. Do I want him to be sold? No. But if we get anything above 60 million, I think we'd be foolish not to take the money and run.
Fair enough, fair enough. Next is Lakaka to PSG. मोटा भाई का टीम. अरे यार क्या गंदा जोक मारा यार. एंड हु विल प्ले एट लेफ्ट इफ सो ओके. क्या पता है स्वर्णिम, देखते मतलब अभी तक तो देखा नहीं है कोई लिंक्स. लेट्स सी. आई मीन the hope is from your perspective you guys sign someone. Yeah. So yeah, I think we are done guys. Any closing thoughts Chintan bhai, Yogesh? DJ bhai ne to de diya.
we are
Yeah,
going
yeah.
to we are going to either see Juventus get their first L or Juventus make a brilliant run and finish top 4.
Fair enough, fair enough. Yogesh कुछ
Top
बोल रहा
four,
था?
top four chins is between Juve and Milan. I think that is certain. I don't think Lazio and Fiorentina in the running.
Fair enough.
This is going to be a hard run, and I'm hoping it's Juve. Also, I think Atalanta is going to lose a little bit of steam.
Fair enough, fair enough. क्या बोलता है योगेश? Anything to say?
Just hoping for Conte masterclass.
Conte versus Gasparini. We need some fireworks, man. Come on. But yeah, guys, I think we'll close this on that note. थोड़ा लंबा चल गया आज. We'll see you guys very soon. Please like, share, and subscribe as the banner says. Bhai, we are I think still only 10 away from 1.3k. So करवा दो. Again, this is the WhatsApp group. You have to make sure at least you don't spread toxicity there. उधर आके discussion करो normal, like we can have a good time, but don't be toxic. And we'll see you soon, guys. There is more content planned once Ajay bhai is back. The content will be more frequent. Bari ka video aa raha hai very soon, and I think more shorts will be coming your way as well. And also subscribe to Ajay bhai's channel. So yeah, guys, we'll see you very soon. Ciao, ciao.
And our main admin Param will be back, and Yogesh will then only take over the metaverse.
Yeah, Yogesh we need to stop the Yogesh takeover of Instagram. मतलब भाई Napoli videos के spam से मैं भी थक गया हूँ थोड़ा. But yeah, guys, see you very soon. Ciao, ciao.
Ciao, ciao.
Bye, guys.